fire, I don't know, fire shoes or something.
Ice and fire.
Ice brands.
Ice
The
brands.
ice brands. There I go.
Our
I
rivals.
like to think that's sliced like a razor, cut like a razor blade.
Razor
Slice
brands.
Like a ninja.
Everything either has to have brand or fire in front of it from now on. But you went back
Fire Big
on her
Mac.
request, have gathered back up in the guild hall in Yord's Garden. At this time, once you all have arrived, the warehouse is looking much better. It's been much more furnished. There's a painting that's hoisted well above, causing a kind of an interesting silhouette to be cascaded across the room when the sun is on a certain side of the building because of a painting that you have put into a window, which occasionally makes noises, according to Seere, and talks. But as she sees you guys come in, she sits you down and says, "Right, so we'll catch up a little bit on what you guys have been up to, and I have some new information for you. We were able to find out a bit about Bran and the trial and what he's being held accountable for, as well as been able to work through some of the favors from the previous questing that you have done to assist us with recovering him, or at least acquitting him to the allegations placed against him. The trial is to be held here in Yord's Garden, in the let me look up the name. The Rights Hall. And in the Rights Hall, they'll have the trial there. So conveniently, that works out well for us. Two individuals be showing up. Hazzeth Stoneborn, the prosecutor, and Grosdrek Steelhair, the defender. Mr. Steelhair will be defending Branbrek and going over the trial and presenting the information and support that we have garnered. So, if there's nothing else to do, it should be happening tomorrow afternoon. Bran should be present at the trial, but I don't know if he'll be in there or not. I wasn't able to get such information. Maybe they were preventing me from finding out in case people tried to break him out during transfer or something that way. But
Probably gonna have a shot held on him.
Other than that, you are invited to attend by honor of the Firebeards. They have, as part of the request and understanding the circumstances, said that you guys would be able to view and listen to it if you so choose, or you could wait for the results and find out from the trial afterwards. Is there a preference to you? Would you rather sit in on the trial itself? For the most part, you'll just be spectators, but you might be called to the stand.
Is the Rights Hall in Volkstad proper?
Oh, we'll be doing the Rights Hall here in Yord's Garden. There's a place not too far from the town hall, the city hall. It's actually adjacent to it.
Oh. Well, then I see no reason why not to spectate.
I was thinking the same thing. Worth seeing what they bring to the table in person, I'd say.
We could at least take notes of people we might need to kill. Oh.
Sarah just looks at you like flabbergasted, just not sure what to say.
You're such a kidder, Hargus.
Just working on lyrics. I'm a lyrical gangster.
Right. I hope you are. We wouldn't want to ruin our reputation immediately after getting it built up here, right?
Preserve it for a week or two.
Yeah. Right. I'm all about my reputation. As all my friends know.
Right. Me as the DM.
I mean,
Or me as the player.
my reputation, you know.
Well, either way, it will probably be a little bit droll and boring and other things, and we'll probably go on for a few hours as they present all the evidence from both sides. It'll be interesting to hear some of it, but yeah, that's what should be going on. I'm not sure why they're holding it here at the Rights Hall here in Jord's Garden versus Volkstad. It seemed odd, but it was at the request of the prosecutor's party, so whatever reason that was.
It's probably so they could have his father take the stand against his son, probably.
Don't worry.
Why would his father take the stand against his son?
It's a great question.
He has a particular taste for weenies.
I'm sorry?
I don't know. I said it out loud again. I'm sorry.
Well, right. I'll just leave you to it, but
Did I say anybody's?
I'll at least show you guys where it
specifically?
is, and if there's anything you'd like to prepare for beforehand or otherwise, it should be held in the earlier morning portion of the day, and should be good by then. Anything else that you need to attend to before before tomorrow, please take care of it, and we'll go from there. After that, she is finished. Do you have a question for her, Scott?
No, I am going to do some chopping to buy the rest of the materials for my harp recipe.
Oh.
So when I have downtime, I can just say I'm working on my harp.
Yeah. In fact, I believe there is a certain material component you need to acquire for that for a quest, so we'll be getting to that. If you'd like, we'll do that after this. So we'll be taking care of that a little bit later after this next part. Okay. But anything else in general, any things that you need to stock up on, healing potions, items, anything that way?
I basically learned I have to restock rations and oil.
Okay.
Can't have enough of that stuff.
Okay.
Hargus,
Power
are you attuned to the maximum number of items that you can attune to?
I believe 2 is. I didn't know.
Three.
actually
Three
know
is the
that
max you can.
rule. Then in that case, I have 2 items attuned to. No, wait a minute.
You've got two
One
swords
thing,
and a
I have a
painting.
magic heart. Well, I was to understand that we could disconnect ourselves from the painting.
Yeah, the painting
So-
was one of those attunements for you.
So,
But
if you've
I
broken
think
that,
you only
might
had
have-
one other attunement item, which is the
Well, I have those
blade
2
that goes
swords.
into fire.
Two swords.
Well,
I have
one's
the
a
2
magical
swords and the
sword.
harp.
I don't think the
The harp
Is
didn't
your-
require attunement.
what. Yeah,
Okay.
your stone was an attunement, and your book's not attunement, right, Jasper?
In that case,
Did I say
have
it
an open
was?
spot.
I think typically the book is attunement. I'll check on it.
I'll have to look at
Yeah,
that again.
I'll
I don't
confirm.
recall having you guys attuned to those items.
The luck stone that Dacron had was attunement as well.
Okay, then they probably were. So all 3 of those items would have been attunement. They were the same kind of concept, for, just unique to each of you individually.
Yeah.
So if his was attunement, then all of yours would have been attunement as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Standard
I've
attunement.
got with this pearl of power that we've got, it'll help jazz up my phlogiston boiler quite a bit, but I can't fit any more beyond that. So I can infuse an item of yours with an enchantment if either of you want it. I could give one of you a radiant weapon. You could possibly blind enemies that you hit with it. Makes it a magical weapon as well. Also can glow, let you glow like a torch basically. I could also make a mind sharpener. So if you're concentrating on a spell, or in your case, Jasper, on one of your inventions, and one of your enemies attempts to break that concentration, you can instead maintain it.
I don't really have
So
to.
either you...
Yeah, I don't really
you
concentrate
maintain
on
that.
things. They just sort of do their own thing. So if Hargis concentrates on spells or something, then
I don't really.
do concentrate.
My biggest issue.
Or
Hey, my
I
biggest
can
issue
give
is to
ya-
get into this sword here and this nasty feller that keeps popping up.
Yeah.
You have
So I
Or
unexpected
think
I
I may
can
guests.
give
skip my
your
performance tonight.
I can also give your armor some resistance to any type of damage type.
Oh,
That I could use.
that would be awfully nice.
Or I could give you my quiet boots.
I feel like you're flirting with me right now.
Quiet what? Always Hargis. Always.
I'm a married man, Hargis.
What was the last one,
That
Flint?
smooth dulcimer tone of yours doesn't help.
Quiet what?
This dulcimer tone of yours.
I got the quiet boot. I've got the
Oh,
mind
and a man with an
sharpener.
accent. It just keeps piling up, I tell you.
Quiet boots, mind
I've
sharpener,
got
and what was the other?
Oh, I can also enchant if you use a wand or an arcane focus. I can give that a bonus. I can give your armor resistance to any type of damage, and I can give you a radiant weapon.
I mean, that might be good for Hargis to have
Automated
resistance.
weapon.
To have resistance to damage. That would be nice if we get into a scuffle, Hargis, because you're
Would be
often
very nice.
up front taking hits and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Especially
empowering
after
my
our last
armor
encounter.
with that before, but I kind of want this Pearl of Power because it gives my my boiler some more juice, so I can use more gadgets.
Sure.
But
I haven't
anyway,
been hit very often, but when I have been hit, it's been for nearly half almost every time.
so
Which
yeah,
makes
it's up to
makes
you.
the bugger nervous.
I thought in particular, Hargis, since you can't see in the dark, the radiant weapon would be useful for you. But I can see you already have a couple of swords there, so I understand if that's
I've
not
got
what
the
you want.
flashlight here.
And
The
Anyway,
moon Reka.
If you make a choice, just let me know. I can pop one of these little gadgets on your armor or your weapon or whatever you want, and infuse it with some technology.
That's generous of you. I'll be gladly to owe you a boon if you would help my armor.
I think armor's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Sure thing. What kind of resistance would you like? Would you like acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder damage? I'm guessing that necrotic is a pretty good choice since, kind of protects from all undead and other evil spells. Fire is kind of common. Cold was useful when we went out into the mountains the other day.
I think it's the people
daggers.
coming at me with pointy things, pointy metallic things is the one I'm most concerned about.
Yeah, unfortunately, only protects against energy.
What's?
Well, in that case, just pick your poison.
The shadow.
And I'll take it.
The shadow never attacks you, though, Hargis. I was about to say protect it from whatever your shadow does, but then I realized, of course, the shadow never attacks you, so you won't have to worry about it.
I either need a whistle to call him down, call him to hill, or I need to. That would be pretty good, actually.
Flint, maybe you should protect yourself with whatever the shadow does, and then just always stand next to Hargis so that he attacks you.
What are you saying there, Jasper?
I believe I've said it.
Well, I don't know what my options are. The priest seemed fairly inept at dealing with this shadow. I was actually going to spend this evening meditating and trying to come to some kind of mental grips with the shadow, or possibly wrap the sword up, put it in the pack.
Well, it's only attacking us half the time now, so that's something, as opposed to...
Well, there was some hope when I beat it in a will check, and it went and did what I asked it,
Right.
but
Yeah, so
Eventually, it comes back.
50-50, that's not too bad.
I was hoping for some kind of positive reinforcement, maybe some shadow lifesavers or something I could pass out when he does what I ask him.
Yeah, I mean, they took the curse off my bag of weasels, and there hasn't been any issue with them, so they seem to be doing pretty well with the curses.
I'm waiting for you to summon 3 demonic weasels.
How about this, Hargus? I'll give you resistance to fire. That's a
Alright.
that's a classic
Classic.
one, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Well, in case any more
And,
suicidal Duragars show up at any
There's all
point.
those memes about fireballs.
Yeah, that
And then
did
I
wreck your
realized
guys'
I have-
world, didn't it?
I actually have one more spot. I have one more gadget, and I think that this will actually help your neat little fire bow that you got there, Jasper.
Oh, really? What's it?
Pardon me.
In what way?
I think the scope will help you
Scope?
be a little more accurate with it.
Really?
Basically, you'll ignore half cover and get a +1 bonus to attack rolls.
Okay.
Spell attack
I'll
rolls.
work on trying to mount it on there.
Fire arrows.
Sort of like a stabilizer sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like this. It's got a screw it on there.
Oh,
There
wow.
you go. That should work.
Interesting. So it ignores half cover
So, yeah,
and
let
does
me,
what?
know if it needs adjusted. And then
+1
gives
to
a
attack
+1
rolls.
bonus to spell attack
Oh,
rolls.
wow. Oh, well, I
So, yeah,
don't.
little
I don't do
arcane
spells.
stabilizer for you.
I don't.
Well, I didn't tell you it did spells.
Well,
This
wait
is
a
you
minute.
as the player.
I have these discs, these throwing discs,
Is
which
Flint,
are mighty handy.
Is Flint?
They don't do a lot of damage.
Is Flint intuiting some things?
I don't know. If we have time tonight, I want him to talk gadgets with you, and maybe we'll see if he figures anything out. But
Okay.
at this point, he just can kind of notice. Maybe it'll help this specific bow that you've invented, since it's an invention and kind of unlike other bows or something.
Well, it's not. I mean, the bow itself is just a piece of wood. Really, it's the
Yeah, those
arrows that have
reinfusions
the
and
different
also
sort
Truthfully,
of
though,
Pulse shield.
capabilities.
Since he is an artificer, he would be able to tell that there is magical effects happening as you're using your bow to shoot your arrows.
Yeah, really, it's just the arrows. I mix up different things, and then when they either ignite or whatever, then that's the. It's really more alchemy related than anything. It's not, just pretty basic alchemical solutions.
I imagine that those are a bit harder to aim than regular arrows.
Yeah,
so
they're a
hopefully
bit. All the
stabilize
arrows are a bit heavy towards the point, so I have to lob them a little bit more than a traditional arrow. So
All right, this stabilizer will help sort of compensate
That'll
for
be
that when you
a little
when
back
you make
weight
an attack.
on the bow. It's worth a shot. I'll give it a go.
I imagine we've taken like a week's worth of long rest, right? I realize
Yes.
I don't think I've
Okay.
taken this all.
I'll practice with my.
No,
this-
you guys were up the entire time. I need you to roll 7 Constitution saving throws for me,
Yep. That gets us up to a
DC.
DC.
and we'll get into this.
What is that?
We'll get into this trial with you having an exhaustion's level 5.
It's only a DC,
Where
I
you
think,
can't
45 Constitution
like,
save
donuts.
by the end of day 7, so we should be fine.
Does
Alright,
it go up
so
by
Hargus,
like
you
2
now
or
have
5
resistance
every
to fire
time?
damage.
It's 5, yeah.
And Jeffrey's got that +1, so that'll be
I mean, you could succeed the first 2, so you might only
Could
have
you
an
repeat
exhaustion
that?
level of 3.
Right.
You have resistance to fire damage, Hargus, as long as you're wearing your armor.
Sweet.
So I put a little gadget on under your cape between your shoulder blades, and then you feel this cool sensation as it protects you from heat.
Noted. Okay.
Yeah, so
Anything else that you guys wish to do? Argus, you mentioned you wanted to buy some rations. What is it? It's a silver per ration, or is it 5 silver per ration? 5 silver per ration.
silver.
So yeah, so subtract whatever gold is necessary for as many rations as you might feel you may need. As long as it's not 25 and you throw them at a bunch of zombies that are chasing after you, should be good.
do you guys want to sell the rest of those art pieces and such? or what do you want to do with those?
You want to sell the 2 art pieces that you have of the gold and silver dragon tapestry?
Oh, the other one.
Oh, the what was the others?
We have a couple jade frogs.
Ah, right.
A couple jade frogs, and then
Well, the jade figurines are various animals.
Various.
So there is a jade frog in there, but there's also a moose, an elk, a bugbear. For some reason, like all of them are normal creatures, except there's a weird bugbear in there as well.
Just this beautiful bugbear with flowing hair. And then there were 2 very fancy robes. I don't know if you guys want to keep the fancy robes for any reason, but I'd just assume sell those.
What's the material like?
Fancy.
It's
Capital F.
golden
Use a good
embroidered, golden embroidery. So actual metal is woven into the finery of it.
It's like,
I mean, it's 250 gold
one.
pieces worth of fine robe. So
I'll take the one that suits my gaudiness and And if we're shopping, I'm going to take it
let me
and have
roll
it.
here.
Have it
Can I
tailored.
have you roll a D4 for me to see what type of fabric you have?
I hope it's gold lame. Oh, a nice velvet with gold thread, metal 2.
all right, so
Purple and gold.
the plan is to try and use the the dragon tapestries as our down payment to the guild as a percentage for what we're going for, and
So I'm
then
trying to find this
sell the
thing
other
really
items.
quick.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be to sell those. I
You
think
said
that
2?
I think those would be a good presentation in the guild hall at
I thought we had a treasure.
We do. If with gold on
110.
hand,
Okay,
Hargis.
roll a D8 for me, Hargis.
Three.
3.
It's made of weasel.
Yes. It's made of weasel. Oh, posh.
Weasel pelt.
There's swag.
The fanciest swag.
That's right. It's not as fancy as rabbit, but you know. Why am I not seeing the treasure?
Okay.
I saw it earlier today.
Noted.
And
I got the gold.
So
Hargis, I can give it to you.
you got 3, right? You said?
You got a 3, yeah.
yes.
It is a royal blue. Lucky you.
Oh,
Fancy.
You didn't get pink.
He could pull it off.
what? It's a noble color.
Hargis could pull it off.
So it's a royal blue with golden embroidery.
Nice.
Good.
Very cool.
Nice.
It's also got slight kind of watermark-ish filigree throughout it. It seems, you can't tell if it's floral or just some kind of design like a paisley tie kind of thing. Okay.
Do we have issues
I
selling?
don't know why I have this fabric roller. Don't ask me, but it's came
I
in
think it's
useful
awesome.
twice now.
I think it's very important.
Um,
And immediately, if I
Your
see
floral
a decent tailor, I'm going to pay twice the amount to have it turned into a fine clothing for me.
Nice.
well,
Technically, it is already fine clothing for you, but it's just it's robe, so you can treat it as fine clothing if you'd like.
I don't
it's
do
just
robes.
it's just more expensive. It's 250 gold compared to, I think fine clothes is like 10 or 15.
yeah, it's
Hargis riches.
the world's most expensive bathrobe.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
spending
basically what it
30
is.
so I can have pants.
All right, so right
Blue
now,
boy.
with gold on
Hargis
hand,
the blue boy.
gold on hand,
I'm-
we've each got
What were you saying?
1238 to each of us, with gold on hand.
1238.
Yeah.
Gold on hand. Understood.
1288 actually, I think.
Not with gold on hand. That's with actual gold on hand. We've got 3,516. Oh no, that's right. There's the percentage that we're gonna try and
Yeah, so
That's right.
just the coins, we each have 1288.
That's right, yeah.
And then we'll just worry about the art objects afterwards. And then if Hargis is taking the robe, then that takes up 250, so he gets 1,038 gold pieces.
1,038 gold pieces to Hargis. Understood. Okay.
1288 for the rest.
With that,
And, yep, that's it.
and
So now-
Branbrek gets none of that. Sad day.
He gets his
Just
freedom
like
if
the
he's
blue
lucky.
boy with a long white beard and extremely skinny.
Okay.
Only
Well,
on special occasions.
unless you have anything else to do, we'll move forward to the trial of the next morning.
I think I'm good.
Well, real quick, Hargis, I owe you 100 gold, so why don't you give yourself another 100, and I'll take that off my total here. You got that extra 100, Hargis?
It puts me at 1538 for gold.
Ooh, look at you.
Minus, no, 1508. 1507.
You're a wealthy man.
Don't tell anybody.
Do you guys want any more health potions brewed up this week leading up to the trial? We could buy...
What are they made out of?
I would need to buy materials.
Gerbils.
It would, yeah, gerbil.
I'm
Gerbil
good.
healing potions.
I've got my medicinal tankard.
Right, one a day, yep.
Scotch. Scotch is good for all that ails me.
You're good, then, Flint?
Got a greater healing potion. I'll probably be fine. You guys keep potions if you need them, but I'm confident in my armor.
All right,
Probably need them.
I am not, so I'm going to make 2 more potions. I'll take off the 50 gold for materials cost, and then use my herbalism to brew up 2 more healing potions while we wait. In between practicing with my new stabilizer on my bow, trying to...
Well, for my harp, I still owed like 250. I think it was 500 gold. I spent 250 originally, and I'll go ahead and pay the other half of that.
For crafting the harp?
Yeah, there was something about materials.
Yeah, you only need 100 gold pieces left.
Oh, I'll go ahead and do that. Thank you.
You only need 100 gold pieces left, but you have to spend the time to craft it, and you need the 1 item, right?
Okay.
The something.
So should we say
hair.
that he has that created at this point, since it's after that week of downtime, or?
We could, if that's what he was going to spend his downtime doing, was crafting that. Yeah, because that would be enough days, correct? He only needed 5 more days.
Yep.
So he would have been able to spend 5 of those days of the week. So he would have 2 days left
Basically
over.
the whole week. So that would use up his whole week of downtime, but yeah, he'd be done.
So
And
you
then
can
assuming
actually
we have-
add
ingredients,
that magic
then-
item to your inventory then for this next event.
Ooh.
Just subtract the gold cost, which would be the 100 gold. There is the question though, because he does need to get the item for it,
Material
or is it? Yeah.
It's up to you if you want to resolve that, or just
Mac
assume
for
you got it, or...
That's the exotic
I
material.
I
I'll
can't
just
read my
say the 2
handwriting
extra
now.
days.
Real
If
quick.
he fails, those 2 extra days were acquiring it. So he just lost those days. Otherwise, if he succeeds, then he has 2 extra days of downtime. Yep. So,
Well, Flint was going to help me.
Yeah.
So if that helps.
Yeah.
Now, Austin, what were you saying the name of it was?
Mac Furmith.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, the name of the bow?
I mean, you can call it anything you want, though, since you crafted it. So you could call it Hargis's the Hargis harp or something.
Mac
if you want.
Furmith.
Hargis,
Harp.
Okay.
Hargis,
Mag Furmith
harp,
harp.
Hargis,
The Harpgus.
Hargith is
Yeah, so it's Mag Furmith's harp.
hearty harp.
Gumbus.
Hearty harp.
Harp
Yeah,
Gumbus.
so you can cast. Oh, you'll want to tune to that. possibly instead of the fire armor, because it's really good. Fly, invisibility, levitate.
Well, he could
protection,
attune to
Art
to
and
the +1 sword or the fire sword, the fire
disadvantage
resistance,
on charm.
and then this
Yeah, so basically you'd have to choose one of your swords. One
Well, I'm
sword,
sorry to digress
armor.
and all this stuff, but if I wasn't enjoying my character, we wouldn't be doing all this
No.
shopping and stuff.
That's the fun stuff.
Oh,
And
you're fine.
if we had a
No, it's
week
good
to
to prepare.
spend, I would also try to figure out either through meditation and study and research,
Your
figure out
shadow sword.
this sword issue, this
Same-
shadow critter issue.
Same issue that Flint found out before when he investigated it. In order for you to completely not have that effect to happen where the spirit gets summoned out of it, it seems that you would have to transfer it possibly to a new item.
Well, I can see some advantages.
That's what
keeping it.
Flint saw, was basically if he destroys the item, takes the enchantment out of it, and puts it into a new item or something that way, or something happens that way, you would then have that power into of that. I mean,
A couple of issues with that. Slavery is abhorrent to him, to Hargis.
yeah.
So this feels like some kind of enslavement, the worst kind of enslavement of the soul. And
Soul forging.
I would rather find a positive result, more positive result for the entity and myself.
Well, that will take some research, but we'll get to that later. We'll see about researching lore stuff on that on the downtime event. But anything else that you guys wish to attempt?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay, then we will go to the trial. So as you guys are sitting there, you meet up back up inside the guild hall. Seere is sitting there waiting for you. She's somewhat in more fine dress, ready to go there, and she's like, "Okay, you guys look clean enough. Good. Let us go to the rites hall." And she starts leading you towards the city hall, or where you had met Holland Grimbeard and Foira-Dun previously. And then goes around the building off to the side and eventually gets to another area located kind of in the same complex, further behind Foira-Dun's area where you had met him, which appears to be some kind of courthouse of some kind. Relatively large in style, but inconspicuous. It doesn't really stand out. And you enter inside, and it's not lavish, but it's practical, but it's well kept. So very, very clean, very open, and it seems to be circular in nature, where the crowd sits on stands that almost like an amphitheater in style and look down towards the accused area. As you find your seating and you're sat down, you look down into the center circle where either somebody would be brought in to be tried by a panel of judges or something that way, and the prosecutor and otherwise. So it seems to be this kind of amphitheaterous room where people can view, and you notice that there's several individuals you recognize, two of which are Foira-Dun as well as Shid Halas, both of them sitting together in a seat towards the more behind the judges, up on a high-rise kind of balcony area. The others that you recognize while looking around are... Let me get my notes here. If I can find them. You also notice Harmon Firebeard sitting down near among the rows down below you. You also see Foira Stoneborn. You see Orsic and Foila Ironwood sitting together off to the side. You do see Naviera, Naviara sitting next to them, along with a few others from the Ironwood Trading Company. You see the emissary that you saw before sitting in another location on the far side. That is who you see at the moment. Just sitting amongst the crowd. After a bit of time and more and more people start to funnel in, you see various people from apparent noble backgrounds of some kind, given their finery and dress, who have come here to either maybe spectate it, maybe to just watch for fun. Others that seem maybe they're interested in the results of this. But after a moment of time, you notice that they're all quieting down as Hullen Grimbeard comes to the forefront near the judge stand and stands at this podium, raises a mallet, just taps it down enough to make a loud enough noise to quiet everybody down. And he begins with addressing the crowd. Hold on. Hullen Grimbeard. Currently, we are all here gathered to talk about the trial. Did that just play or not? There we go. Thank you. Currently, we all here gathered to talk about Branbrek Ironwood. Hero to some, martyr maybe, betrayer certainly to some they believe. But here we are here to determine what he is actually accused of, brought by the Stoneborns. Hazzeth, this wiry-looking dwarf, who looks somewhat familiar, but different. Remember the dwarf you met back at the very beginning of this, who
Arrested him?
took Branbrek away, arrested him, and that the kids jeered at? He looks like if he could be his twin or brother, he probably is. And he realized that maybe they're related somehow.
But it's clear it's not him. Actually, I don't.
Yeah,
I didn't see him. So no.
Yeah, it's clear it's not him. He's not wearing the weird stilted shoes, along with like the thin beard, the pencil-in beard. But he looks very similar to him. Like his air just reminds you of him. Not Flint. Flint, you being a being of the dwarves, roll a history check for me. See if you recognize this individual at all, or if you've heard rumors about him.
22.
Okay. You've heard of this member of the Stoneborns. He has a sleazy reputation in your memories. He's good at what he does, but he's also been... Rarely do you hear good people complimenting him, so much as being like, he managed to do something again, but we have no proof that he's a sleazebag. So it's like, he's good at that. Seems like the kind of person where it's like, he covers up his tracks, and you can't really blame him for just having a rough or mean personality. But you always suspect that he's had his hand in dirtier work.
One of those.
And what position is he in this trial?
Prosecutor.
He is the prosecutor.
A stud.
He's the one that...
makes sense why Branbrek fell in if this dirtbag is his prosecutor.
Yeah. Hazzeth comes to the stand, and he goes, Branbrek has previous run-ins with the law, and his family deals with elves quite regularly. As such, I believe that the above allegations, providing sensitive information to foreign nations, illegal trading and trafficking of contraband, collaborating with Durgar, the attempted assassination of foreign nobility, the Frost Meadows, Ivan Frostmeadow, and creating an uprising and rallying a resistance to perform traitorous acts against the kingdom and the throne.
Objection.
People start murmuring at that point.
Well, isn't that some breaded and fried cat poop?
Rabble.
Holland hammers down his hammer.
Rabble.
It says, "Order! Order in the court!" Hazzeth puts up his hands. Now, I understand your anger at hearing such accusations. Says,
You just added 7 herbs and spices to that cat.
Some of the guards glare at you that are there in full plate. And he pauses for a moment, continues. Well, unbeknownst to some, such accusations would condemn death almost immediately. But that was not all. He's also disrupted the peace by blackmailing various establishments of repute, such as the Thunderforge Theater, and compromising the security of the trade routes, as we have had trouble with emissaries and otherwise because of orcish raiders, having collaborated with them to squeeze them for gold and money, as well as other favors. These, and the evidence that we have presented before, is what we present to the courtroom in this case. And then he goes, sits down, kind of proud of himself. And then, steel hair, older gentleman, he's like, he has a patched eye, or at least one eye is closed, but you can tell it's because it's scarred over. And he stands up, takes out a walking cane, and walks forward, kind of an older dwarf.
Now I'm just a simple
grizzled,
southern
buff.
dwarf. I don't know all this.
Not quite. Grizzled and buff, and steps forward, and it gets to the center of the room, taps his cane down, and he says, "There's some interesting statements here. You have said that Branbrek has these allegations against him. I'd like to pull some interesting and interested parties to the stand that contradict the statements that you've had, as well as the evidence that you have so forth put that is ambiguous at best. Now then, if I could have a member of the Firebeards come forward. Saluna Firebeard. Kind of elegant gown and otherwise nobility lady, as far as dwarfs are concerned, comes forward to the stand and says, "We had requested, made a request to members of the Valiant Allies to acquire an onyx gem from the forest of the Deadmans. With the collaboration of the Ironwoods and otherwise, they have proceeded to find such gem for us. Branbrek has also shown forth various help towards our house and various other nobles in the area." And she continues on, and eventually the murmurs pick up again, as they're like, maybe he's not as bad as what they're claiming.
Watermelon.
And then she goes on to say, his identity is collaborating with Durgar? Falsehoods. We have proof that he has not been associated with such. The onyx gem that we had gained gave us the ability to scry on such creatures, and we found who the true culprits were.
Who? Is he in here?
And many others are also like you. Who? Who did it? And it's like, needless to say, she puts her hands up, it's still under investigation. But
who let the orcs out? Oh, Drugar, sorry.
Yeah. But we have thus forth produced very effective proof showing that he is not associated with the Durgar. So I'm sorry to say, but it seems that your boy Bran is not guilty of such. goes on to the next part as Hazzeth stands up and he's like, I object! And then Steelhair puts his hand up and he says, "Well, not finish. I believe there's several more allegations to go through." And he says, "Honored Judge, if you would allow me to bring
This is
an emissary that's been saved by the same valiant allies, associates of the Firebrands, who saved an emissary that had been captured, and he'll tell his tale of what had been going on."
Flint brought a bag of nuts, and he's just like eating them, like as he's watching. It's like,
yes, you can tell that there's other people here that are just entertained by what's going on.
Jasper passed around the bag of crickets.
I'll eat one. Flint's like,
Argus.
Almost.
I like him better in the cakes, but not bad.
The halfling, the emissary that you guys had saved before, comes to the stand, much more refined this time. He says, as he comes to the stand, he's like, "Ah, yes. I remember it like it was yesterday, being saved by their sacred beasts and these powerful 3 individuals. They swooped in from the mountainsides, over the hills, and down to the valley where hundreds of orcs surrounded me and beat them down with divine light." He's emotional, and you guys can tell. But the crowd loves him.
It's
Boy,
true.
they
It's all
sound
true. I was there.
they sound really brave and handsome.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I'd
then
like to
goes
meet
forward
those
to
guys.
describe each of you. He says, "This band full of machine and contraption as well as arcane might, this dwarf who spreaded needles of doom around him, appeared from nowhere before me, striking the fear into the orcs' hearts. From above, a tall, masculine fellow whose thunder roared along with his companion." Notice he doesn't describe Jasper as much because he never got a
He
good
was hitting the whole time, yeah.
Couldn't see him over the bushes.
You guys did great.
But he had a hat on.
Yeah. And his mysterious helper is basically what he refers to Jasper as. But
My mystical
that
companion.
after a moment of that, he's like, "Well, what does that have to do with the foreign nations?" He's like, let me get to that. I just felt it was important to bring up who had helped me. Now, you say that foreign nations, but I had brought new information regarding some of their other emissaries that had been saved. They had found, after sending a spy to infiltrate the orcs, that it was indeed Cern Durgar and otherwise that had been inciting the orc raiders. So, and seeing as how Bran has had no collaboration with the Durgar, I find it highly unlikely that he was associated with these at all. And his name has never been brought up to any emissary that we've been successfully able to rescue, so it seems that he was not involved. So your allegation seems to be on shaky ground.
He's really smart. Listen to that guy.
all the valiant allies for all your adventuring needs.
Have you been kidnapped?
People are like, "Oh yeah. Keep going. And then next up, Hazzeth stands up and he goes, "I object! Hold on! Still, he has created an uprising, rallying resistance to perform traitorous acts against the kingdom and the throne. Of course he would cover his tracks. I mean,
Has anybody checked him to make sure he's not two Drugar standing on their shoulders?
Yeah, he stinks.
They do that stuff.
I don't have order here, as we have seen such actions happen in the mountains ranges between here and Ice Blossom. It is a known fact that they're ingrained here. At this point, you see Foira-Dun stand up, and he goes, "Brethren, I'll have you know that me and Shahalas have been doing a fine job of patrolling, and have encountered such locations." Gasp as the crowd gets exasperated, and they start whispering among themselves. "It's true then. They're actually digging in around the mountains here. Are we safe?" and there's different noises like that going on. He
Now
says,
that I'm here.
and Foira-Dun puts his hands down to quiet everyone down. He says, however, it is also true that we've had some brave adventurers, the valiant allies. Yet again, the Brands, as it were, infiltrate one of their facilities and grab precious documents that indicated that it was both the Dark Elves and the Duergar who had been inciting such things. However, no noticeable information regarding Branbrek was ever turned up. Also, the Ironwoods have been good to both me and Shihalas, so we will both vouch that Branbrek is innocent of such thing. And then there's murmurs as Hazzeth goes,
Say something against the dragon, I dare you.
Say something.
Fine.
Say something.
Fine. Well, what about disrupting the peace and the thunder? And immediately you see this shoe just fly out of the stands and hit him in the back of the head. From
A dwarven shoe?
Right.
yes, a dwarven
That's like a
shoe
1d10?
that flies
That's
out
like
of
a d10 projectile?
That's high for him. That's high.
Yeah, he just goes as let me grab her name again. Fonwella stands up and has thrown her shoe at at him. He says, "Stop embarrassing the Stoneborn name. I run the Thunderforge Inn, and that is untrue. He has never interfered with my place of business or anything." And at that point, you see
This will make for a great
Harmon
political
is trying to
illustration.
hold her back and keep her from like jumping down off of the stands down to him to like beat him up. And he's like, "Whoa there, lass! Just give him a bit of room." Anyways, after a moment, she gets quieted down from a couple of the guards and sits down there in a huff. And he's like, "Bitch, I've never." Fine then.
Is he like sweating visibly?
Yes, he is visibly sweating at this point.
Boy, sounds like a mistrial.
Brand's got this
Sounds
trial.
like a
You see him like start ruffling through papers. And he goes, I mean, he's also compromised the security of our trade routes with the new lava barges and stuff that way. Duergar have insurrected, and then Harmon stands up and he goes, "Now I wonder how you know about that information, since that hasn't been told to anybody, even among the higher nobility." And he goes, "Everybody knows those that were on the ships have been
He's in on it. He must be.
talking about
he
it."
must be in on it.
And he goes, "Interesting that you'd bring that up. Now, I'm sure that all of you recognize me," as he takes off his captain hat and bows, and they're like, "Oh, it's Captain Harmon." He says, "The valiant allies showed forth great effort in defending us from one of these supposed incursions. The incursions led by Duergar, nonetheless.
Chicken lips.
And he goes, since they have also stated earlier and previously with several different allegations that the Duergar seem to be involved in many of these situations, and Branbrek has yet to have any affiliation with the Duergar proving his association with them, and given the fact that these are his traveling companions that have known him for quite some time,
Forever.
those Duergar, if they had been working with Branbrek, I assume him and his allies would have been easily able to beset us and capture one of our prized ships. In which case, I believe he is not the one that has been compromising our security of the trade routes and announcing such thing. That is my vote in this, so take it as you will, Jerry." As he bows to the jury, and they're like, "Oh, just..." And
Makes
at this,
sense.
he's just like, takes out a cloth, like, wipes some sweat off his brow. Is like patting himself. You'd think he's in a forge of some kind. After that, Hazzeth starts looking around and he's like, well, as such, I believe that with the presented evidence of his underworld dealings are enough to convict him, as his past transactions and run-ins with the law. His household has also had dark dealings with foreign nations and uncouth collaborations with dark dwarves, who we have all known to be problematic. He's like reading off of a paper here. like some prepared speech that he had beforehand, trying to find some kind of information to present himself. This Steelhair goes, "I object. Your accusations are groundless and based on nothing but subjection. Honor members of the court. Prior to this, Branbrek served in the war and brought honor to his house and the kingdom, doing many missions people would claim as suicidal, helping greatly in the war efforts and bringing honor to both Falstad and his clan." And many people cheer at that point. Takes a moment. Prior to this, the Ironwoods have helped greatly to establish better relationships with the elves, allowing us to beautify our own garden of yore with the flowers that we now see. And he gestures to some of the gem flowers around the area. Sorry, I lost my place. Also, with improving our relationships with the elves, our neighbors, and with their help beautifying the city, their contributions as a family and Branbrek as an individual stands to reason that they have honor and servitude to this kingdom. And from then on, it goes back and forth for, you'd say, about 30 minutes or so, as he brings up other allegations and other things or past things, and repeatedly some of them start to get shut down. So as Hazzeth is kind of on his last legs, you see him going through paperwork, and he finally finds one, and a grin comes across his face. As he stands up with a new figure and stands up, he's like, "True, maybe some of the evidence has been mispointed at him, or maybe not, maybe it's been covered up. After all, I have evidence of here that born dignitary that has associated with the Ironwoods for a long time, Ivan Frostmeadow, as you are well known, had grown up with the Ironwoods, interacting with them quite often. On adventure to the Dead Man's Forest, him and Branbrek returned. Ivan, and worse for wear, unconscious, and has recently gained consciousness. These two, many would say, were friends, great friends, best of friends, knowing each other full well. Ivan has provided a statement that Branbrek, the fiend, was the cause of his unconsciousness, and had used such means to infiltrate the Frost Meadows and make dark dealings with the Dark Elves. I have proof, a written sealed letter, confirming such information from Ivan himself. And the crowd's like,
"Where's Ivan?"
And they kind of go off for a bit. At this point, Steelhair's a little taken aback and confused. He's like, "Doesn't sound right." Well then, either way, the accused will have to speak for himself eventually. So what does he have to say about his so-called best friend saying such allegations against him now that the truth has come to light? At this point, you see a cage that's been opened up, that kind of off to a pocketed area, and out in chain comes your friend.
Hey guys, something's going on with your audio. I'm having real trouble hearing you. Is there something going on in the background for you, Scott? I see your mic lit up, but I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you all fine.
Yeah, Dustin's getting a little bit faint.
I'm playing
sure
Conan the Barbarian's soundtrack back here. Let me turn it down. Sorry
maybe
about
that's what. Maybe that'll help at least.
But
let's try that.
but
So I'm getting a bit quiet.
Garrett's
Yeah, you're breaking up.
got something going on with his mic.
Yeah,
or
you're
something.
just breaking up, kind
It
of.
seems like when he leans back, maybe he might have a short or something.
You guys aren't able to hear.
We can hear you. It's just quiet.
We can hear you. It's just kind of cutting in and out a little bit. Like it's not quite bad enough to where it's like unintelligible. But I definitely don't want to miss.
Yeah,
it.
that last bit with Hargis was
to.
getting, or that last bit with him in the cage was getting to the point where I actually couldn't hear you anymore.
It doesn't sound like your Wi-Fi. It sounds almost like a
Yeah, maybe just plug
Equipment problem.
your headphones in and out. Maybe I don't know. They just
Well, it just started a couple
Maybe
minutes
got
ago, too.
yeah, it was fine
Yeah.
until like.
I have no idea. I apologize. Maybe there was something downloading in the background. I'm just making
It
sure
sounds
that
good there.
Steam or something open.
Sound okay now?
Okay.
It seems
What was
okay.
the last thing
so.
you guys distinctly heard? I can just go back on the script. That was the nice thing. about writing
Just like
this.
where he's like he can speak for himself, and then something
Yeah,
about a
he's
cage.
Branson.
So
Okay.
Sorry.
The accused can speak for himself. At that point, Branbrek gets taken out of a cage from nearby, covered underneath the stands that you couldn't see from the angle that you were at. As he was brought out onto the middle of the ground, you see him in shackles, manacled, chained from both
What?
wrists and feet. Branbrek's usual demeanor of confidence and happy-go-luckiness seems to be gone from his face, almost as if he's seen a ghost just recently. Make an insight check, each of you.
15.
Jane?
12.
Natural 1. Bran seems fine. He seems to have weathered his captivity well. No worse for the...
I will say it has to be with disadvantage for Flint because Flint has not traveled.
So it'd be 14 for me.
So it would be harder for Flint to be able to recognize what's wrong with Branbrek. Roll with disadvantage. Roll again to tell me which one was the lower. Am I cutting out
3.
again?
You're
Just
okay.
a little
okay.
bit.
Yeah, it's not bad though.
But I can
Anyway,
roll.
with disadvantage, that's a 3. So that makes more
Maybe
sense.
it's the DM's curse.
Maybe that's
That's
what it
what's
is.
going
Passes it around. Yeah. Discord knows.
Yeah.
Because we had the issue when you were a DM and a Jasper
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Aaron, but I haven't had it
That's a
since.
good point.
We'll see with Scott. Maybe it's all been Scott's doing. Anyways,
I possibly.
15 again. Okay. For
3
Flint.
with mine.
Oh, 3?
Hargus got a
Okay.
14 or
Big
15.
14.
Okay, so 14. Argus, you're probably the only one that kind of notices this. Something about the most recent information that was brought up has struck Branbrek in kind of a stunned daze. Something he was not. It seems like he was shocked by new information. You've seen something like that in other people from your from adventures before, but it seems like whatever composure he had has only been recently lost, and he seems like in a stunned state.
Do you think it's related to the news from his friend who he rescued in the forest?
Possibly. But that's what you notice, Hargus. And if you want to share it with the other two, you may.
I'm leaning over to Jasper and sharing what my insight.
I'll lean over.
Insight.
I'll lean over to Flint and whisper to
Ripper.
Flint.
So you whisper to Flint, he whispers to you. So Flint now knows as well.
I better have Flint tell me what he told him, just in case we got the Chinese thing going
And
on.
I'll whisper it back.
Whiplash.
I don't
Okay.
think they told him
The-
that Ivan was conscious and awake again. I'm guessing he's surprised by that information.
With that, Bran stays silent for a bit, and Hazzeth takes advantage of this and says, "What? Cat's got your tongue? Seems that you were not ready for your own friend to sell you out." And then Bran goes, No, that doesn't make sense. He's awake? But what? I need to see him. And then Bran, almost not paying attention, starts to struggle against his chains. He's like, "Let me see Ivan." And he says, "Oh, flabbergasted now, are we? Well then, off you go." It seems that he is not able to answer his own questions at the moment, as he seems to know the truth of his matter.
Oh.
After this, there's some more murmuring. But, there's
Cad!
quite a few people that seem like, that doesn't seem like what he was bothered
Let
by.
Ivan speak. Bring out Ivan.
But, with that,
Hearsay.
We want Ivan.
after a moment, Hauling Grimbeard slams the mallet down again and goes, Now, I'll have order here. Let us reconvene in 10 minutes and know what the jury's verdict.
New evidence. We demand to speak to Ivan.
After that, there's a bit of an uproar. The assembly leaves to the jury for a bit. And some of the people that you recognize are in the crowd. If you'd like to go talk to them. But Bran has been dragged off the stage again. Somewhat in a fighty manner. Well, not like super resistant, but he's like telling them that, hey, you have to take the dive, you have to take the dive.
Did I miss it, or I didn't hear you say that Orsky and Mom were there? Are Bran's parents there?
I did say that they are there. They're sitting together on one of the stands. They've mixed expressions, kind of. It seems like they've been holding in their emotions for the most part. Make an insight check to see what their expressions say.
As he calls for a recess, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, good, I just ran out of nuts. I'll be right back."
Nothing. I got a 10. Nothing.
Okay, 10. Stood.
13.
Yeah, both his parents seem concerned, and a lot of the workers seem concerned because like that doesn't. But it's hard to get a read on them. You get the feeling that they're like really trying to hide their emotions at the moment, just to not give any fuel to the fire, or vice versa, in case they misstep. So that's as much.
Jasper's like, Brown's father doesn't even care. The bastard.
His mother seems just as composed as the father, though.
He hasn't even looked at the mom. Staring daggers
he's just
at the dad the whole time.
After some time passes and you guys go and relieve yourselves, come back from the recess, and gathers back together, Holland comes back out with the hammer on the table. And Branbrek is brought out once more. Let's,
I buy 2 silver worth of concessions.
You have very elaborate concessions. One
I come back with a couple of meat pies and another bag of nuts.
One's also like
pies.
a stick with meat that's
glazed. Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Hey.
I brought you a meat
You
pie.
know I do.
Dwarven.
You know I do.
Dwarven courtroom food. It's just like all meat and stew.
I hear you see another dwarf next to you that's like, man, most of the time I just come here for the food, but this is quite entertaining.
Right.
I was gonna say, I mean, he gave us 10 minutes, so I was fine walking down the street to the meat pie place and just bringing it all the way back or something. What about you, Jasper?
It's better than the rat on the stick you usually get at these sorts of events.
It was almost a Dairy Queen line, if you know what I mean, Austin.
Yeah, I do.
Jasper's munching on one of the giant meat sticks, and he's like, I don't know why this is making me so hungry. And he's just...
Okay. But going back, you guys seem to be waiting again. Eventually, Holland Grimbeard comes back, slams the mallet down a couple times to get order back in the court, and he says, "Well now, Branbrek, you've heard the allegations against you. Are you ready to receive your judgment?" Bran sits there, finally kind of looks up, acknowledging what's going on. He says, I request a last request if I am to be condemned. And Holland puts up a handing for wait to turn. We'll get to that depending on the verdict. Understood? Bran just kind of nods and sits there. And he goes, "What say you, court? This will be done by vote. Get into the assemblies and show the votes. And there's 10 representatives that walk forward. The first one votes guilty and walks off to the left.
How do you call a vote and you haven't even talked to the key witness?
they go up and there's like 2 anvils and they go and like on the
Sure.
one.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
There's some dwarven custom or something.
Liar's Court.
Well, there's a. Well, let's say this is the Dwarven custom. There's an anvil in the middle, and then there's 2 pails to either side, and a mound of like ignits. And they go up and they hammer an ignit with a stamp of yes or no, or guilty or not guilty, and then they throw that ignit into a barrel.
I like that.
Of the 10, one goes up, hammers it down, because you can't tell which way they. When they hammer, you can't tell which insignia they've done.
Right.
But then he grabs it and throws it into the guilty barrel, and then walks off to the side.
Boo!
Next one walks up, hammers it, throws it into the not guilty. Next one walks up, not guilty again. Another one walks forward, throws it into the guilty pile. 2 and 2. Well, the next one walks up,
Yeah, we need water.
also throws guilty in. So 3 guilties so far. And at this point, you can see people are worried because there's been more guilty, and it's halfway through than not guilty. However,
this is just guilty for that one offense, right? Because the rest of it, he clearly wasn't guilty.
It seems a very confused court.
I don't see what the decisive evidence is to this.
It's all hearsay. I tell you, hearsay.
Either something
Politics.
as you guys are murmuring about
Mysterious
this,
sealed
the
letter.
next one walks up. Next one walks up. And you start to notice that the remaining 5 all put not guilty. So it was a 8 to 3
Wow.
vote. Or 8 to... Hold on. Yeah, 8 to 3 vote. Because there's one from the judge that happens. There's 10 from the jury.
Oh, and he can
Gotcha,
be the
gotcha.
tiebreaker or something if
Yeah.
that needs to be right.
So he
Cool.
walks up and he says, "Note that my vote is needed," and he hammers down and throws into the not guilty pile. But Branbrek, you're a free man of these allegations. Anything regarding absurdity to throw, dealing with foreign nations, and he goes over each of these allegations and says, has been deemed as invalid until further evidence is provided that is more concrete. Free this man from his, and at that point, Hazzeth slams down on the table and he says, I called for an ajav otak.
I call for a lynching.
I understand that, right? Because it's dwarvish.
Ajav, or
I do too.
AJV, OTAK, or a trial by combat in Polish.
Oh, come off it! Really?
Yeah. And then there's a lot of gasp and a lot
I'll
of
gladly
like,
cut your throat.
"Alright!" And they get angry.
Shenanigans.
And the judge is like, sits there for a moment, and there's some banter back and forth, and a lot of people are much like you, Flint, like, no, you can't do this, and some other people that were just there for spectating are like, yeah, combat! And then there's some others that are just like, yeah, he deserves it, and you can tell that maybe those people were just also behind. Maybe, who knows? But they seem to be
Planted.
supporting the guild.
Planted, possibly.
And then you hear both Fonwella, Orsic, let's see, Fonwella, Orsic, Harmon, and Foira-Dun say, they can't do that. You can't do that. You can't prove you're not guilty. What are you doing, throwing honor under the table like this? And then, Holling Gridbeard puts up a hand and slams down the mallet again and says, no. Since this was an issue regarding dwarven matters and dwarven honor, but proving whether or not somebody was guilty or not, even though there was some, it wasn't 100% vote of not guilty, he has enough votes to issue a trial by combat.
You might want to nail down his honor first.
So, seeing as the old dwarven custom goes, as he glares at uh, Stoneborn, Hazzeth, Hazzeth kind of has this look of smug satisfaction on his face, even with all this. He says, "Seeing as such, who will represent you and your side?" He says, "Oh, we have someone right from the house that will bring justice and bring it under your fights this day." He says, "Is there anyone for the opposing side? As this has not happened in quite some time." And he looks towards Steel Hair. Steel Hair kind of is like taken aback, strokes his beard for a bit. Says, "I will have to reconvene in a bit to find out." Says, Holland raises his hand and goes, "You have but an hour to find who will represent for this trial." All that. So he does the grounds of the the barracks here in York Garden for the trial. Here in an hour. Till then, this meeting is, or this court is adjourned. And slams it down, and with that, there's kind of an uproar, and some people are angry. You can see Onwella is being like held back by Harmon again, and she's just cursing up a store in Dwarvish, which, if any of you know, you recognize as that's very unladylike speech. And he's trying to like cover her mouth so that she doesn't just ruin it. But yeah. Afterwards, after a brief moment, as the journey, the jury concludes, and you guys are led out of the area, Seere comes over to you guys and says, "Well, that went differently than I expected."
Yeah, no, it certainly did. Guess don't ever commit any crimes in a dwarven city, right? I mean, sounds like they'll get you one way or another. If someone's got a vendetta for you, gee whiz.
Well, I mean, it's a rare. Supposedly, it's a really rare case, and at that moment, you hear a familiar voice behind you as you guys are conversing, and it's Steelbeard, and he goes, "Right you are. Seems that they pulled a fast one on me. I didn't expect them to bring dwarven honor into a courtroom that had already judged a man not guilty. This is an old tradition that has just been carried along through law, but hasn't been practiced in some time, unless there has been more than equal the evidence. But according to the law, as long as it was
at least
not a complete majority vote."
Seems like they're out of practice with their honor.
Which they were by one, which seems suspicious to me. That they were able to pull such a snag.
So, I mean,
well then.
There's the matzo ball in the room. Does it have to be dwarves that represent him in the trial by combat? Obviously, is I guess the.
Well, that's why I'm here. You, most of what our information was provided by the Valiant Allies and provided by a particular group called the Firebrands. I assume that's you, judging the descriptions.
Yep, that's us.
Would you be willing to represent him in the trial? Do note, though, this trial by combat isn't meant to be to the death, but is often taken far. You don't have to kill your opponent. In fact, it'd probably be preferable that you didn't, but don't expect the same mercy from them.
All three of us can join.
Yeah, what are the numbers?
Trial? Or one of us?
It's not meant for just one person. It can be a representative group, very similar to how we hire adventurers for the ambassadorship. This is a similar such event.
Do they choose the number, or
absolutely accept?
Yeah, do they choose the number, or do we choose the number? How does that work?
We'll come to a consensus. If the three of you are fine with joining, they will submit someone of who is considered equivalent strength.
Is there any chance I could speak with Bran beforehand?
It could be possible, but honestly, he's been taken back underneath the cells because until he has been cleared of this trial, he's still considered a convicted man, and his whereabouts are supposed to be kept secret so that he cannot be set free
Okay.
by interested parties. So even if you could see him, much like Brand's family, they probably wouldn't allow you since you have such close ties to him, seeing as he used to travel with each of you.
Yes, we want to keep this lynching all straightforward and legal-like.
That's true.
I'm sorry that you had to see all that. Honestly, it's a dark side of the history, but
I'll just say in Dwarf.
it
Hey, and the Dwarf has apparently lost their way.
By all means, I agree with you. That's scum. Referring to that Stoneborn wretch brings dishonor upon that house. I don't know whose pockets he's in.
I guess that was part of my question too. Do you have any sense of why they're gunning for Bran so strongly? To pull something like this seems like a pretty big move, right? I mean, if it's so strange, why are they so focused on...
He looks at Flint, and then he looks back. My guess is he was a convenient scapegoat. Recent nobility, starting trade routes, had a bit of a history with some of the, well, roguish types, you could say. And on top of it all, was absent for a lot of the available conjectures. Thus, it was easy to draw conclusions and provide false evidence. After all, nobody could prove he was with you guys adventuring.
And I guess take the testimony of an elf who's been in a coma for all this time, but they won't take our testimony with regards to that, eh? Because...
Well, he's of somewhat known nobility, whereas your newly found adventurers.
All right, yep.
Plus, he has a history with Jordsgarden. Ivan and Brand used to work together for the last 20, 25 years or more. So, they've known each other for some time. So, his name is not unknown to some of the folk around here.
All right.
Still, it also doesn't help that Ivan is actually one of the noble blood, both in name and lineage. He is actually closer to the throne than other elves are, but not completely. So his name brings some weight with it. Though he is not a direct in line for the throne, he is definitely related to the white blood.
Should we make our way over to the combat arena then? Any rules we need to know about when we go in? I don't particularly want to kill a dwarf.
Simple enough rules. You guys will be brought to the training grounds. Also sometimes joked about as the proving grounds. It will be kind of a smaller area. You will be watched by several guardsmen as they are gathering right now for the military to maintain the encirclement and force the fight to a certain conclusion. They will then be watched by both myself, the prosecutor, and the judge, and any spectators that may wish to enjoy the show. As much of a show as it can be. On top of that, he kind of looks around. There's not any rules about whether or not you can come pre-prepared or not, but they will dispel any magics that have been cast on you prior to entering, so I'd say save that. However, once you get inside and you're under surveillance, you may have an opportunity to use such magics or items should you have them, and then do the combat. Given the fact that they were underhanded enough to do this, I would not expect exactly a fair fight going into that battle, so just be aware of that and come out swinging. Well then, I've tarried enough. I need to go report that you guys would be representing them, right?
Gladly.
Right. Clacks his staff, and then starts walking.
I've got a DM question. Normally, at the beginning of any day, Jasper would activate his alchemical armor. But knowing we were going to a courtroom, would Seere have told us that, like, no, are we, like, with our weapons? I assume we left our weapons at
You guys could have gone to the courtroom
with our weapons.
Equipment or enchantments on. Yeah, it's fairly well guarded and
So
stuff that way.
showing up with
They
alchemical.
also haven't had much trouble with people causing troubles at such courtrooms because, I mean, there was military full plate dwarfs around you guys and other things. People, it's one of those things where it's like something could happen, but they don't really mind. They get it's the necessity. And in case of emergencies, like the town comes under attack, they don't want people not being armed.
So walking in there with my alchemical.
Like they had their own security to deal with stuff. So
my
you could have had that.
Armor could have been going during the trial and everything, no problem.
Yeah. However, if it is a spell that's cast before the trial, that
that's
may
not
come
a spell.
into
It's my alchemical armor.
Because they will be casting the spell.
That's fine. It won't affect me at all then.
Would you have lit it up?
No, unless Seere said to not have that kind of thing active during the day, I would have.
Seere would.
I mean, it. I imagine it has kind of like a light smoking effect as the snail mucus burns off over the course of a day, slightly smoldering. So unless Seere would have told him not to, he would have activated it when he left the house, because that's the same with our. Gosh, dang it! The same with our cricket
for
cakes.
Mechanics, just for the sake of time, I can say that
That's not magic.
I know it's
something
not
like
magic.
mage armor, you probably can get by with it. Cricket cakes, you would have to recast because
I can't make another batch of cricket cakes. Those are breakfast in the morning. You don't. It's no casting.
Just saying, that's.
No, let's go with it.
I know, that's why I'm asking, because these are things that I need to know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So cricket cakes will be dispelled if you did do that this
every morning.
No, they won't.
Well, no.
Magical.
No, it's just
Why
a
would we
cricket cake.
question
It's fine.
Okay, mark your sheets appropriately, but we'll roleplay it correctly.
So, all right.
Okay.
All right.
Oh gosh, this is
All right,
so
team.
bad.
This is
Oh, it's so bad.
This is the plan. I'll be in front, okay? I've got my armor here. I mainly wore it so I could have my other arm for snack eating, but glad I brought it with me today. So I'll be in front. I've got the armor in defensive mode and everything. What's it called? Guardian mode. So I can guard you guys just fine. Let's all focus on whoever I'm fighting. Let's take them down one at a time. None of this one-on-one
strategy.
stuff.
Yeah, focus fire.
They're gonna fight dirty by invoking this tradition, kicking Bran when he's down. Let's get this over with as soon as we can and finish it up. So just follow my lead and we'll focus on one person at a time.
All right, sounds like a plan.
How are you going to
Casper,
initiate
you do
who
what
you're
you do
focused
best.
on?
Fling stuff from behind. Hargus, you can help with your encouragement and bardic inspiration. Help us out that way, like you always do. And then I'll try and absorb as much damage as I can. You guys just focus on taking them down one at a time. I don't know what we'll be up against, but I'll just sort of focus on who I think is the biggest threat that needs to be eliminated as fast as possible.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Good.
Yep, should work out. Should work out.
All right. You guys are brought over to the fields. After a moment, a dwarf in full plate is waiting near a gate into the entrance there. Greets you, kind of nods. He's like, I believe you are the ones representing. In you go. And he slams his spear down next to this gate, and a little portcullis gets risen up, and you're brought out into the centered field. That's kind of like a football field in kind of style. It looks like this is where they do different training, formations, and other stuff for military affairs here. It's not super big. It's about 20. It's a 20-foot sphere, but elongated. I can't think of what that's called.
Yeah,
Oval? It very much like a football field oval, right? However, it basically goes from we'll say 40 feet across, but for the most part, the center area is 20 feet, which goes down in. It looks like they've experimented with the terrain, made it a little bit closer enclosed for your particular. So you have a 20-foot arena that you guys are going to be fighting. 20-foot radius, so it's 40 foot. Sorry.
Do I got
40
time to
feet
change
long
clothes?
and then maybe 20
Change
feet
clothes.
Yeah,
wide.
up and down. So it's
Got it.
basically you can go straight
I
across,
don't want to mess up my new duds.
20 up and down, but it's 40 feet long. But
Got
it's semicircular, so not cornered, not kidney cornered in the area.
We got an hour, so I'd say if you came in your fancy robe and not in your
Okay.
combat armor, you'd have to run back real quick and switch into.
Robe? I got
Yeah.
breeches and a coat.
So you got to change in your armor
Yeah.
real quick, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are brought inside, and you notice that there's quite the crowd around, and people seem excited for this. Many people may have heard about it. You see adventurers or various hunters, gatherers, workers, people that have just left things off to the side, and they kind of look around, and you notice you've drawn quite the crowd. It's hard to see everybody, but you can see like some key VIP booths. You see once again Foira-Dun with Shid Halas, and some of the others in the crowd that just kind of stand out. As you're brought closer to the center, you notice that there is 50, 60 armored dwarven individuals with different equipment. All of them have spears, all of them have battle axes, and then they all have like a personal weapon that's of their preference off to the side. Some of them have an extra axe, some of them have an extra spear, some of them have a sword, some of them have like a bow or something else that way. But they seem to have all this standard equipment, sitting there with their spears just standing at a neutral, readied stance, all surrounding the area to create a much kind of a zone of protection and comfort for the bystanders. You also notice that there's one or two mages, it appears, elven in nature, that seem to be positioned at different points, just kind of overlooking the area. Maybe to prevent any wayward spells from flying into the crowd. With that,
Did they dispel us already?
yes, they have dispelled you at this point.
Okay,
One of
when
those
that
mages
happened,
that you had seen.
When that happened, I kind of go, oh. Despite all those nuts I ate, it feels like I'm hungry again for some reason. Like I didn't eat breakfast. That's odd. Oh, it's like they just magic
the
laid
fiddle
something on my
pass.
stomach.
Would they
The fiddle pass.
would they
and
be
the
able to
knuckle drop.
perceive the
They don't tell, they just dispel
but they
you.
have to target an effect, right? So it's not like, unless they hit us multiple times, it's not just. So like,
I think it's just any effect.
no, you have to know about it.
Unless
You
it
can't
was
just
an item.
dispel.
It was
Choose-
an item you did walk to.
Yeah,
walk
choose
through
one
or walk over.
creature. Choose
under.
one creature. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target.
But one at
ends.
a time, right? It doesn't do every spell.
It just does any spell. I think.
Hey, nickel pickle.
Dispel magic just became a lot more powerful if that's the case. I'm curious.
Dispel magic is
I
a
thought
very
you had to
powerful
target
spell and
one
it's
effect
really
at a time or one spell at a time.
It was
You
that way in
can
traditional
choose-
D&D.
You can choose one
As
spell
always, area of
if you
effect.
want.
Yeah. So how
But
it
if
works?
you choose the creature, then it's all effects. So you can
Yeah.
choose
Let me
to
pull up the
dispel
stage advice. I looked this up for this
debuff.
reason.
um,
So
or
according to
like a
s-
beneficial effect from somebody,
Choose
but
one
leave the other
creature.
ones if you want.
Yeah. So here's the stage advice. The spell has to provide an effect for you to target it specifically. So if you know about the effect, like if I know you have mage armor on and you have aid, but you've also got bestowed curse, if I cast dispel magic on you, it gets rid of all of it as long as it succeeds the check. However, if I only want to target bestow curse, I have to know that effect has been placed on you to target only that spell
It
specifically.
says it right there. Any spell of third level or lower ends.
Unless you cast it at higher level.
It is a third level spell.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so yeah, it's just one casting and it's all gone. So as we can't really skip over that because as they target Jasper, he's thinking like no problem, and they go to dispel him, and suddenly
then he notices
the alchemical armor drops, and Jasper's like, "What the bloody hell? Wait."
I didn't know that was magical,
no,
Jasper. I thought that was just
it's
snail
not
slime.
it's alchemical. It's not got anything to do with magic. It's just a bit of.
Do you question the mage?
Does this thing target alchemy as well? I mean, what's going on here? It should just be an alchem.
As far as I know, it only targets magical effects, so whatever sorcery or magic that you are using got dispelled. Well, off you go then. And he walks off.
Wait.
Huh.
And right then, prior to opening the gate, protocols for you and everything else we talked about, you do have a moment to prepare
So
yourselves
now we
if
can
you'd
prepare
like.
stuff.
Yes.
Can you relight Jasper? And I'm gonna watch closely.
Takes off his
as he does
pack,
so.
gets the jar that he's got the snail goo in, and goes in there and reaches it and starts applying it to the points, the little bits of leather across his vest. Then with shaking hands gets out his flint and steel and just it flares up briefly, and then that light smoky shimmer comes off there. He's just like, it's just a bit of alchemy.
Make an Arcana check, Flint. If there's a time for an Arcana check, now is the time.
12.
You know magic happened. You're not sure necessarily why there's a difference or why, like, kind of general knowledge. You know it was magic, but you're not sure why Jasper doesn't think it's magic or other stuff like that, I would say.
Let's conversation later, Jasper, because that's very interesting.
Alchemy.
While we're just
alchemist.
standing here, I'm going to go ahead and throw inspiration on one of them.
All right.
Okay. Typically inspiration only lasts for
10
how long?
minutes.
A minute? 10 minutes? Okay, that'll be long enough. Okay.
You gonna give it to both of us?
Flint, we got
you
time.
could give it to
I can
all
give it to both of y'all.
You could do it to
One
all
for each.
three of you if you'd like.
I
Well,
don't know
not
if I can
Hargus
do it for
himself.
myself.
Oh yeah, he can't do it to himself, but you can give
Yeah,
it to both of you.
We can each have
So
it.
mark
That's
off 2 inspiration
It's a
die
D8.
off of you.
good. So you give us a pep talk beforehand, Hargus.
You got
A little
you got a limerick? Let's hear it. Jasper could use a limerick.
Oh, I don't. Sorry, don't actually have one.
Improv.
Well, I do have one.
Do it.
Bet you won't.
I have one for you if you
There
want to
Once
use
were
it.
3 valiant allies.
I say it, but it's been too long. All I remember is
There
the
once
punchline.
were valiant
Involves one
allies
ball.
3, who, when
Or how about you
facing
use
a
your classic
fierce
one?
enemy,
I do like pie. I will not lie. I'll say it's sad, but I'm happy inside.
wait.
Well,
Wait.
that is
I think I got one
appropriate.
here. There once were valiant allies 3, who, when facing a great enemy, did lift up their heads and get out of bed and give him a big fingering.
Wait a minute. That almost sounds like Hargus, but also not good.
Let's leave the poetry to
That
Hargus.
wasn't Jasper. That wasn't
I'm trying to
Jasper.
remember the minute I said it, I can't
Jasper's
say
got
it.
no time for levity. He's a little shook.
Yeah.
Well, we
Either
just
way.
go on, and lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see
Hey!
you went
Well,
Classic.
I love that Scottish song. Okay. I don't know
song
where
ever.
you've been, but I see you won first prize. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna activate my defensive field on my guardian armor. Get 6 temporary hit
Oh,
points.
there once was a man from Nantucket who claimed he had but one nut. to two sons of guns pulled down his breeches and found he had
Okay,
none at
I'm
all.
gonna get my blessing of the Tree Father. Say a very sincere prayer to the Tree Father, and my bark skin will kind of come up.
That only lasts a minute.
I'll
so
do that right before
make sure
we
you do it
walk
right
in.
as we rush in.
I'll get my bees out. They last quite a bit longer, so 10 minutes on them. So open my bees and go, come on, boys. This is a big one.
I'm gonna look closely.
Yeah,
at
the
the
bees start
too,
flying around,
to see if
glowing,
You don't have to make another Arcana check with your previous one. You're starting to
glowing
notice
softly in
something's
the
off.
light. My bees surround me.
Because
Flint,
one
what
thing
kind of
you've
weapons
noticed
you
is the bees
carrying?
don't act up
Or,
until
sorry,
he
wasps,
has done
wasps.
such, too. So something's really odd. It's not
Yeah.
acting like it should. And
then-
when
and
you
then
try
they're,
to like
staying
reach and
within a
touch the
certain
bees,
radius or whatever, and like
yeah, and
they're
when you try to
The
glowing.
touch
wasps.
them,
Yeah.
touch them, they just kind of pass through your hand. And you're like, wait a minute, these aren't real.
Well, as long as we're doing something, I'm talking to my sword and explaining to him. Okay, now.
You behave.
Sergeant Sherlock, those are the bad guys. You're with us.
Well,
I
we'll
want you to
see. We'll make a
definitely
persuasion
understand.
check when that time comes, if you so choose.
I get my repulsion shield out, and I turn all of my gadgets up on high because I'm not gonna pull any punches this time.
Does he make a noise from the high voltage?
Scritch
Can-
Bruce on the ear and go, all right, buddy, I'm gonna need you. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Gonna need you on this one.
All right.
Bruce.
I put my helmet
Each of you roll initiative, and I will describe the area as you do.
All right.
You guys start to walk in to the arena, and a horn gets sounded off to the side, and more cheers yell as the horn bellows. But after a moment, they all quiet down, and you hear Holland Grimbeard presenting at one side. He goes into a slight dissertation about the event, about what this trial by combat represents, and it wishes both combatants good luck to give forth a good show. And then they introduce on the left-hand side the Firebrands as you guys are ushered in.
It's Firebrands!
The Firebrands!
Yeah!
Firebrands!
Not in a long time. Sorry.
Holland looks at his nose. He's like, you see him like whisper off to the side to something, saying if you had enough perception, you'd see him say, "Who wrote down Firebrands?" He's like, "I don't know. They were Firebrands." I get it. It's confusing. Whatever. I'll go with it.
Flint likes the attention. He's gonna definitely like wave out at the crowd and everything. He's starting to kind of get a little
The
bit of a big
victorious double arm pump was not Jasper. That was Aaron because I rolled a natural 20 on my initiative. So for once, Jasper has a good
head.
initiative.
Nice.
Total 23.
Okay. Let me pull things up over here. Get everything situated, and we can get started. So this is...
Before we start out of character, they were telling me I don't have vicious mockery, but I can take it as a naturally. I don't have it just given to me. I can take it as a cantrip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you picked it as a cantrip, then you can cast it.
Okay. Noted. Okay. With that, and then over on the other side, he motions to that, to the other side, and he says, representing the Stoneborns of a traveling animal trainer, Vinma. And Vinma, a dwarf, comes sauntering out. He's gnarled up, kind of stout, lanky. But behind him, you see two large lion-like creatures come behind. One having a mane, looking like a male lion. The other one a lioness. Thin or lithe. But come out behind him, large creatures. Interesting in appearance otherwise, because their mane, brilliantly white. And even the lioness has like a white collar around its neck. Its fur is shimmering in the light and has a strange kind of essence to it. Both of them roar as he walks out, kind of saunters with his whip in his hand and then cracks his whip, and they kind of roar, kind of look at him, and then circle around and start weaving out to the outside, and he takes the center
Jasper's
position.
dropping motes of dust by his side.
Oh, I'm dropping something.
Yeah. Not yet.
Checking my leg, so they roll on out.
No, he's just dropped.
Ready.
I already had you roll the initiative.
They're sauntering out dramatically. I can drop a
narrative leeway. But
so I can't drop motes of dust. No, okay, all
not right now. No, because the initiative is already rolled. I'm just describing stuff.
If they were going to waste time sauntering dramatically, I'll drop some motes of dust on the ground.
Yep. As the two lions present themselves, one sits and the other one kind of stretches. Holland announces his lions. Benroy, the male lion roars, and Kimba, and the lioness kind of stretches, growls a little bit, and then stands in kind of a graceful pose. And then Vinma cracks his whip once more, and they kind of get down on their haunches and start growling. He says, "Let it begin!" And then the portcullises close, and then with that, we will be getting into battle. I closed the music.
Just one guy?
Started.
Oh, okay. Wait, it's just one guy and his lions?
Hey,
Yep.
Oh, okay. It started the thing again because I was like, okay, that's the first one.
I wonder if
Okay,
it's
then.
your if you playing the
opponents
music
do
is
we
what
have?
slowed you down. Because you've been great this whole time. You didn't,
I didn't do the music.
No, it's just background bards
Okay.
that's doing it.
Well,
So
then I don't know.
seems fine now, though. I hate to hurt animals in here, but
So
This is
we have
different.
what?
Two
Two
lions
animals
and a dwarf.
and
2 lions. Let's see. So Vinma,
2 lions
Kimba,
and 2 dwarfs. Dang.
and what was the
One dwarf.
no,
yeah.
1 dwarf, right?
2 lions and
Vinma is the dwarf. Kimba, sorry for them being similar, is the lioness, and Benroy is the lion.
Benroy. Okay,
Hmm.
let's do this.
Let me get this music.
I have my harp out and I'm playing a low dulcimer tune.
Why isn't that playing? Whatever. Just do play.
Oh, I do have something.
Oh, you have to do play first and then loop track. There we go. Yeah.
nice. It's good
Heck
tunes.
yeah.
Yep. I wanted it's Hunt or Be Hunted is the
Nice,
name of the
nice.
song, by the way. So thank you, Witcher 3, for providing good music.
All right. And the
But,
heroes arrived
Okay.
in a
Well,
pallid
so
village.
what was your initiatives
Girl
here?
was
Let me get
within-
those. Jasper,
23.
what is your initiative? 23, huh?
Or would you rather hear a classic? Another
Jasper
world,
is-
another time.
23 on Jasper.
The age of wisdom.
Flint, I almost said Dacrin. What is your initiative?
15.
15. Hargist, what is your initiative?
10.
10. Okay. So we would have up first is going to be Jasper.
No, this is the first thing I composed for this. I am
Then
driven by
Benroy.
my knowledge and my understanding urges that I
Then
should be commence my
Then-
fighting with a nice sharp blade and puko.
Nice.
It goes on.
All right, Jasper, you're up
Just so
first
Jasper,
as
what's
we
the
enter in combat.
girly
Just so you
men and
know,
Swedes?
you guys are 20 feet, 40 feet away from each other right now in this arena. There's only 20 feet up and down, 40 feet across,
Okay.
so just think of a rectangle. That's all it is. There is some various debris and other things that haven't been cleaned up, so you could potentially try to use like a random object or attempt to hide or something that way. But for the most part, you have clear lines of sight
Okay.
almost everywhere.
Okay.
Unless you do something crazy, like try to make something that's, I don't know, stone wall or something to hide behind. So, dig a hole.
Well,
But with that, you guys are up.
all right.
Jasper,
First
you're
things
first on the
first, we'll pop off a couple of big old glitter bombs. One at the dwarf and one at the male lion. So
Benroy. At Benroy, huh?
Big Ben, yep. So we'll go for the male lion first. We'll see how that one does. Not terrific, but 12. Hopefully enough to hit a lion.
No, it dodges out of the way.
Oh, that was a big
12.
one too. All right.
It will then use its legendary action
Okay.
to roar.
After I missed it.
What?
I wasn't lying when I said sorry.
All right. Second arrow is
World.
going.
Does it do anything?
The second one's heading towards the dwarf.
Hold on. I need each creature within 60 feet,
Okay.
which is all three of you, that can
And
hear
his master and the other lion.
Yep. To roll a 12, or to roll a wisdom saving throw. Dang it, you know what the success is now. If it's 12, you lost. Okay?
I
Whoops.
negate it.
Wisdom
I'm already
save?
playing my harp. I can simply negate it.
No, it's not.
Also, this is
I don't know.
I think that's
counter
against
charm.
effect.
Counter charm probably wouldn't work here. What does
It's-
counter
that's
charm
like-
do?
It's not necessarily
Somebody read that to
magic.
me.
It's probably not
effect.
magic either.
Advantage on charm effects.
Just charm.
Yeah, not frightened. So
No,
Voice
it's in that-
effect.
It's not magic either, is it? Or is it magic?
Okay.
Okay.
No, it is not.
Hold on.
Well,
hold
yeah,
on.
because it's
So-
not charming effects. Oh boy, that's a 2 for me.
Well, it's counter
Yeah,
charm is what I'm
not-
thinking
not
of.
applicable.
Yeah.
All right. I got a third.
Well, it disrupts mind influencing
Just charm.
effects.
It wouldn't work
so-
for fear.
I know, but I'm going to throw it out there just to see if it sticks. So.
Worth a shot.
The lioness appears to be afraid of
Good
the
to know. Good to know. Stand behind the male.
But other
Oh,
than
little
that, what did you
spousal
guys
use.
roll?
2.
I
Oh, well, I
So
guess I'm gonna
failure,
roll
you are
another.
now frightened
I
of
got
the
a
creature.
13.
Uh,
13
What are
on
we
the
rolling
die.
against?
that's-
Wisdom save.
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh, well, that's not likely.
Just roll high.
Well, I rolled 11.
Can you use your inspiration? No, you can't inspire
Okay.
yourself. Oh, shoot.
I already tried to throw stuff at that.
11, huh? Okay, noted. did not succeed. So you and Flint are both frightened at the moment, which means you have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws, I believe.
No.
Disadvantage on ability checks rolls while the source of the fear is within
Yeah.
your within line of sight. The creature also can't willingly move closer
Yep.
to the source of its fear.
So,
Just remember, you guys are at the edge right now.
so
40
my
feet
first
away.
arrow missed the line. The arrows fired at the same time, so the second one was flying towards the dwarf at the same time.
Okay. Oh, right, you used the bonus
Well, no, I
action
just
to- okay.
doubled it. So it was 2 at the same time. So it's
Okay.
a twinned.
Okay.
18 to hit the dwarf. Yeah.
The dwarf?
That's with a
That
plus
That
one,
is with, yeah, that incorporated.
18 is a glancing blow.
I would, seeing that a glancing blow. All right, well, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Glancing blow.
I won't. I could add a little to it, but I'm not gonna. So okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
A lot of the crowd has gasped, and like a lot of
Yeah.
the crowd is frightened of the lion.
Man,
as
that
well.
lion has better AC than the dwarf, which is interesting.
Y'all ever heard a
16.
lion roar for
Yeah.
real?
The lion?
I had an 18
Lion?
to hit the
No.
lion.
It's one of those things you,
It was,
even if you don't hear
I thought it was
you
an
can
18
It
to hit
was.
the dwarf.
You said
It was,
18
yeah.
to hit
It
the
ended up.
dwarf.
It was a 12 to hit the lion.
It was a 12
Oh wait,
to
no,
hit
you're
the
right.
lion.
It was an 8 on the die, so I
Okay, I was
or
like,
not
it
not
wasn't
an
an
8 on
18,
the
was
die.
it? If it
was,
was, it
you're
hit.
right. You're right. It was a 4 on the die, so I.
This lion's not wearing full
That's
plate.
good. I'm glad that it doesn't have
Yeah, no.
higher AC than the dwarf.
Which,
Okay.
by the way, Flint, that dwarf is wearing full plate.
Okay, so that's a total of 20 points of radiant damage to the dwarf, but glancing blow. So, yep.
Halved.
Yep.
So 10.
Not bad though. And he's glowing, right?
Yep, and he's glowing.
Advantage. If somebody's not scared.
Okay. It is now Benroy's turn.
Dang.
Benroy, after roaring, and this is the point where you're at fear, dashes forward, covers the 40 feet in us very quickly, and dashes straight towards the person that first attacked it.
Makes
Jasper.
sense.
How far
With that-
behind me is Jasper? Like, am I? Because I was.
Do you guys want to
going
be in a triangle formation? Say.
I was gonna be up front, and so
That's-
I don't know if it.
Pretty much is how it was
Goes
planned.
right
I
past
could
me,
say
or-
that
I don't know.
you guys are in an L shape, so you go Flint, Jasper, Hargis, or triangle, whichever way you want to do it. Just on a grid system, you'd be like this. So I will say the line has to get past you. You're the first available target, Flint. It can attack you. Since it does want to get
Okay.
to Jasper, who just shot it, or as far as it can tell, came from
I shot between his legs.
So
Okay.
I'll say that that's good enough. So it runs. So it will make a claw attack against you. To see if it hits first. Are you frightened of it? So does it have advantage against you because of
No,
frightened?
I just have
No.
disadvantage.
Lucky. So normal roll. Ooh, that's only an 8 to hit. Unfortunate.
Yep.
So it
That
does not
misses.
pounce you. And then it will attempt to bite you.
I forgot my bonus action.
That's a 17 to hit on the bite. So as it rushes forward, you block out the shield, but as your shield comes down and you raise your arm up, it bites your arm.
And then with that, I'm gonna blast it away with the shield.
Okay. 5 piercing damage from the bite.
Okay, and it gets launched 15 feet away.
How much damage?
No damage. It just got hit.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 15 feet away from you now. It will use its 10 remaining feet to cover 10 of that feet back.
Okay, good. So it's not right up against me. That's
So
good.
it rolls forward and then takes that slow saunter towards you.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
Can I
Okay.
have used my bonus action because I forgot it in AC Tuck?
What was your bonus
Sending
action
Bruce
gonna
to
be?
go over and make sure that we're out of the range of his fearful scream, but to get those other two in range of the
Okay.
fearful scream.
He
Okay,
can
so
fly
he'll-
forward to them. How
He can
far
go
can
40
Bruce
foot.
Go?
He can
They're
go 40
feet
foot.
away. Okay, so
And
he could reach
get out
one
of
them
the
if you so-
circumference of the fearful scream to keep us out of the scream. So he'll
Okay.
Wait, are you using Bruce or
Bruce.
the wasps?
Because they're both
Okay.
concentration, aren't they?
Yeah, they both are. So one or the other. Oh wait,
I think,
yeah.
Um,
So it would be one
I
or the
think
other.
you might be right. I forgot to put down concentration on Bruce. So in that case, I do not have Bruce going. So sorry, my bad.
You could have your
But
bouncy
the
ball
wasps
thing
might
out
have.
I can.
with the wasp.
Yeah.
It
Not a
wasn't a
cantrip, though.
cantrip.
Yeah. So
though,
yeah.
to cast.
I wouldn't have done Bruce then. Sorry, my bad. Ugh.
However, you
Oh,
do have
that's
the
right.
wasps out, so it does.
That's
it did
right,
enter
wisdom
that
save
field for a moment,
for the-
attacking.
Yeah, wisdom
Flint.
save for the
Wisdom
lion.
save that.
By the way, is it the first time it enters that on its turn, or each time it enters?
First time
that
it
on its turn?
enters, and then each
First
time
time, I
it
don't
stays
think
within.
ever.
So
Okay. Did it?
And that area
How
is
far
difficult.
Put ice in
Right.
this for me.
15
far
foot
out is
radius, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then it couldn't have re-entered the space because it would have used too much movement trying to get to you, Flint, on the first time after being
15
shoved.
foot,
So it
yeah.
is 15 feet.
So yeah, wisdom save,
Oh.
and then yep.
Wisdom save, understood. That's an 18 on the
It
save.
saves, so instead of 10 points of radiant damage, it takes 5.
Well, I feel really impotent here.
You got ranged
Oh.
Because I
stuff.
haven't had a turn
You
yet.
got ranged stuff.
I
you're
forgot
good.
something.
Huh? I kind of feel like everybody's going to be dead before I have a turn.
We're okay so far.
Oh.
No, I forgot. You shot a guiding. You shot one of your
Yeah.
arrows at this lion, didn't you?
That doesn't affect
just
anything
emotional.
until he gets attacked, though. And the lion, it missed the lion, so
It missed
didn't-
the lion.
It's not going to affect the lion. Anyway.
Okay, no, we're good for a moment. I had to read some specific wording. Okay.
So yeah, only 5. The lion only takes 5 points of radiant
so
damage,
that's- Noted.
and yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it gets stung a bit from the wasp. With that, it is your turn, Flint.
It's all right. I'm a daddy.
Argus, you're up next
I'm
after
the
Flint,
father.
so
You're up next,
think about
Argus.
what you want to do.
Bribing.
You
All
have
right,
one lion that's within 50
Oh,
feet.
After-
okay. I have a question. Are they still within a 40-foot cube?
40 foot.
All 3 of them?
No.
I guess the whole room.
Well, yes, because the arena is only
Yeah,
40
going
feet
back.
wide,
Okay.
so if it's a 40-foot cube,
We'd have to.
well,
That'd
that's
be
the
like-
area of effect if I want to throw slow on 6 things.
that
You'd have to
that
get-
could affect everybody that you
I don't think
want.
it's
No, I
think
can,
it's
I can select
it's.
them. I can
I think
select
it's 20
them.
foot. Isn't
I can
Sweet.
select
Oh,
6,
yeah.
feet- 6.
6 creatures of your
thing.
choice. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
So
target.
I'm going to throw slow on all 3 of them.
Okay, but
Hold
for
on
my
that
turn.
for a moment.
Okay,
So,
I'm just
you-
giving you the
Yeah.
heads up.
All right.
Unless something
Kind of
changes, that's what I'm
shaking
doing.
a little bit from my encounter with that lion, I'm gonna just be like, "You got this, Flint," and then I'm going to pound a button on my chest
Have it all.
and cast
Take it.
mirror image,
Thanks for
and
asking.
these 3 sort of 3 glowing circles appear on my armor that are prepared to take the damage
Nice.
instead of me.
Nice.
And I can't move closer to it, and so that will just be my. I think that'll just be my turn. And yeah, so I'll just kind of stand there and just pound my shield a little bit and try to get my head back in the game, get over this fear. Do I make another save at the end of my turn?
Yes, you do.
5. I'm a little less scared than the 2, but still pretty scared.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're still afraid of it. Okay, with that, it is now Hargus, your turn. So you're casting slow and affecting all of them,
Well, wait
right?
a minute. First off, it's your fault I decided to throw slow because I'm scared of them.
Just want to make that
And,
clear.
As I've been playing continuously the whole time, you see a slightly discordant harmony go through my whatever I'm playing, and all of a sudden,
McDermott.
It's one of those power slide things where you go.
Oh, so you start
Low song.
down. Let's hold on here as I use the glass bottle to slide down the strings.
Okay, so you're targeting both the lions and the
The
Durgar,
master.
right?
Yeah.
And each of them need to make a saving throw, correct?
Here, I have it out here. I'll just have to read it. Sorry, I'm just
Yeah, I
not
think
versed
it's wisdom
enough to-
saves for him.
You're fine.
Yep.
It's
Just say it.
wisdom save.
40-foot cube within range. Each target must succeed in a wisdom saving throw or the affected by the spell
That's a good one.
for the duration.
That is a good one. Come on.
Well, I'm certainly hoping so in this
Hope
instance.
they all fail.
What is the saving throw for you with
15,
the
I'm
DC?
pretty sure.
I believe it's 16 now.
Woo!
Yeah, I think it is 16 for you. Vinma or Vima fails.
You keep saying
Durgar.
Duragar. Are you?
Or
Is it though? Is it though, Dustin?
Dwarf.
Vinma the dwarf.
Yeah, we've fought a lot of Durgar.
No, I'm using the Durgar
Are
stats.
you?
That's why I keep on saying
I'm
Durgar.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You might have
Listen,
a little
there
Durgar
isn't a
blood.
dwarf. There isn't a normal dwarf that has the same CR rating as what I needed, so I had to go find a Durgar.
I'm just
to do
squinting
it.
now, trying to see his gray
Fair.
skin beneath the makeup that he's wearing.
His bad makeup and wig.
Vinma
You can take him out of the caves, but you
is
can't
slowed
clean him.
down. Now for the other two. So Vinma slowed down.
It's minus 2.
Benroy
Dexterity, and
also
AC.
slows down.
Awesome.
Or actually, correction.
If he's doing any kind of spell, there's
Yes,
a
it does
special
slow
roll for
down.
spells.
And then your DC was 16?
All three
Oh
fail?
my gosh. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh,
All
man.
three
Doesn't
failed.
that bring down their AC too?
Nah,
That's a -2 to AC, isn't it?
Excellent. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, -2 AC
awesome.
and Dex saves. No reaction.
You're just lucky I don't get my
Only
flying
needs
wing
one
out for this
action
one.
on each turn.
However, yeah. So make a
Don't
make
you
a,
however me.
yeah,
Don't you however
make a
me.
wisdom saving throw, Hargus, for your
Oh.
fear effect.
See if you can shake your fear. This is to
Shameful.
shake your fear.
No, this is good. See if you can shake it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
I rolled a 17 plus 2. 19.
Noted. Okay. That
I'll just add that.
you are no
kidding.
longer afraid. You are
I'm
no
hoping
longer
it'll
afraid
influence
of
the other
lion.
dice.
Dang,
Woohoo.
that was a powerful spell, and they all failed, even though all of them have advantage
Whoa.
on that saving throw.
Oh,
This
oh man.
changes things quite a bit, I bet.
Well, actually, yep, all three fail. I forgot to roll again on the Vinma.
Now, if he throws any spell, he has like a.
So
need me
all
to
of them
read all
slow
that?
down as Hargus goes. Okay.
Do I have a
Yeah,
bonus
it's
action?
their turn. Yes, it is your. You can do a bonus action as long as it's not a spell, because you just cast a spell with your action.
Oh, well, shoot. I was going to do vicious mockery. which,
Right.
which,
That's
okay.
not a bonus
good.
That's not a
In
bonus
that case-
action anyway, so you're good.
I'm going to take the time.
And we're
Oh,
both inspired.
No, we're
so-
both
Yeah, you
inspired.
could inspire, but they've already been inspired.
I'm just going to adjust
We're
my
good.
sword in my hand
turn
Kimba,
already.
the
that I'm
lioness
holding
turn.
my.
I have to
harp
pull up
with.
slow really quick, because I'm gonna have to remember this for the next little bit.
Slow's got so many things.
Slow as the spell.
It does kind of
Yeah.
suck as a GM
It's
I
a
can
lot
totally
of
see
things
that.
to remember to do.
because,
I
yeah.
know.
That's a
No,
real.
that was
it's
good.
really
that was
good.
that was
Really
really,
good.
powerful for you to do, because it will save
yeah.
you guys some trouble. -2
we were
AC, can't take reactions on his turn, can either use an action or a bonus action, not both.
Casting a spell takes
Yeah, the casting a spell thing, I didn't
That's
Yeah,
the
you have
most
to roll a
brutal one.
D20.
Like, it
Regardless
takes
of
them a
the creature's
whole
abilities or
turn
magical
to
items,
cast
it
the
can't
spell, which makes
Make
sense.
more than that. Did it do nothing to its speed?
I think it's half
Minus
speed.
two to
I think it's half
dexterity.
speed. Yeah.
Speed, right? Speed is halved.
Speed is halved. Dang. There was a reason why this was 40.
The arena's built for these lines.
So it will. Kimba starts running, in slow motion, gets 25 feet
Not
to
quite
you,
there.
and no closer.
I know what I'm doing on my sword, my action.
then-
Igniting your
bonus
sword.
action.
right?
Well,
I'm
no, we'll then
flame
action
on.
dash to cover the rest of the distance, but we'll have to make a wisdom saving throw versus your effect.
Oh, they're in the hornets?
Jasper, your
Okay.
hornets. Yeah,
Into
because it runs towards. It is right next to you, Flint, and right in front of you, Hargus. It's a large one. That's
That
a 15
does
to
save.
save.
Pretty high roll,
versus the
thankfully.
hornets.
11. So instead of 19 points,
Yeah, normally you shouldn't save fail a wisdom saving throw, but all of them failed a saving throw against slow.
instead of 19 points of radiant damage, they'll only take 9 points of radiant damage.
How did it get so close to me in only 25 feet?
Double dash.
'Cause
It
it was 40
dashed.
feet away, right?
It dashed.
So 50 feet then, right?
Yeah, but that's all it can do.
Closed, but can't
Oh,
go
okay.
anywhere.
Oh, okay, got it.
Because it had to take its action to do such, and it can only take
Yep.
an action
Yeah.
or bonus action and no reaction.
It's
Got
like
it.
you're setting them up for a sucker punch.
But it doesn't matter because legendary actions don't apply to that.
That's true. Loophole.
That's why they're legendary. Okay. Oh, dang. So that roughs them up bad. That's their turn. It's
Can I ask you a
Vinma's
question?
turn. Yes.
Is Vitma
Yeah.
commanding them,
Seems to be in
or are
charge.
they acting on their own?
They seem to be acting on their own.
Yeah,
They seem to be
they'll
well
probably
trained.
keep on fighting after he goes down. But
Hard to tell.
That is such a cool picture,
He
Scott.
can't.
That is totally what Hargus would look like.
Dang,
I know, it
Argus,
tickled me,
you do
dude.
not know how much that slow spell messed me up. Because now I can't do this ability, which is actually a reaction for this
Oh, man.
dwarf. Because he can't take reactions.
Did the the lioness can make another saving throw at the end of its turn, by the way.
on the slow.
On
Take off
the
slow.
slow? Right.
Yeah, that's the only downfall.
It's a 15, his is a
Oh,
16
man.
save, right?
Still slow.
Still
When did it go up
slowed.
to 16?
Yeah. What's your wisdom modifier, Argus?
Charisma.
Charisma's 4.
Or charisma?
4.
What's your proficiency?
3.
Sorry.
3.
I got
3.
3.
Oh, it should be 15.
7 plus 8 is 15. Do you have a magical item equipped of some kind that gives you a +1?
Well, my proficiency bonus is +3. So
That's
it
why
would
I
be
was
like
guessing 15 before.
Yeah.
And what was your question?
DC's.
Yeah. What's your spell save DC? Is it 15 or 16?
I got it.
It
here.
only
Unless he
matters
has
in
a
this.
magical item. It should.
I apologize. I've got it down as 15.
Okay, 15. 15. It
For some
does
reason, I was
succeed.
thinking it was
It
better
is
than
no
that.
longer slowed right now.
All right. So Kimba it wore off.
Yeah, Kimba it wore off on. On the other, on Vinma, he's just gonna sit back, take out a javelin, and move forward to throw it at you at disadvantage. That's a 7, so it misses. It just he goes to throw it, and it's like the weak arm throw. It just goes short.
He like throws it in slow motion, but the javelin moves in normal motion. Just goes.
Yeah, it's like straight in front of him. Okay. Jasper,
Okay,
it's your
so
turn.
he's still sparkling, and so is the male lion, right?
Yep.
Right, so they're both
Male lion
still
never got
sparkling.
hit.
So Jasper's going to pull out.
No.
Oh,
Male
that's
lion
right. He never got
hit
hit. Yeah,
by
my bad.
your
My bad.
ability.
Sorry. Okay, good.
Dwarf.
Well,
Dwarf is the only one.
in that
sparkly,
case,
and he's slowed.
Jasper's
So
going to
his
bring
AC
out
is down by 2.
his biggest glitter
In his
bomb
full
arrow, and take aim at both of them again, and mark that off. So First one's going at the dwarf. I'm going to use my clockwork amulet, so it'll set it to a 10. So 18, which hit the first time. 5, 6.
Glad.
Oh, it'll hit though, 'cause it's slowed. Well done.
18 again, so yeah, it's since slowed, it's
Yep.
16
Yep.
AC, so it's...
So let me roll that first. 11, 3, 20 of radiance to him, and next one's the lion. All right, so this time instead of a 12, it's a 13 to the lion, but hopefully a slow lion. The other arrow to the male lion, and so I rolled it, and I got a 13. Yeah. All right. Oh, glancing blow. I want it to hit harder. No. All right. I'm gonna let it go. No, I'm gonna use my inspiration to make it hit a little harder. +8. Yeah, this is a weapon. Or I mean, yeah, it doesn't work for. I'm pretty sure it's all attacks, all attack rolls to hit. Yeah. Not damage. Yeah, I wanted to get all of it to go through, because this is his biggest glitter bomb arrows. Okay. So 11, 12, 20, 22 points of radiant damage to the male lion. Yep. Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I'm well behind my allies as much as I can be, and yep. And then it. Do you want the damage at do you want its damage at the top of the round, or this super slow pause coming at you and you just kind of like lean back? Okay. Nope, we're good. Yeah. Who's playing? Screaming from the these get. Well, and then the one that swiped at Hargis gets. Gotcha. Okay. Nice. That's brutal. It's like it's bread and butter right there as a knockdown and then combo bonus action. Oh. 15 points. And 15 points of radiant damage. Man, with the bulwark and the cannon combo, that's a pretty potent. Yeah, the limpin' lion. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Unsettling. It's gonna explode. Probably not. Yeah, good call. Good. Okay. You got a lion right in front of you. He's probably fine. You got a boy lion. No, more than that. You've got more than +1 to an attack with your sword. It should be like a +6. And if it's a +1, yeah. Yep. On the flame sword, it's not cursed. The flame sword's cursed too? I thought the flame sword was good. No, he's using the flame sword, not the shadow one. Are they the same? Oh, I thought they were different. I was getting... Yeah, that's why I was getting them confused. I was getting the +1 with the flame sword mixed up. So. Too many swords. Too many... I was gonna say, you get one more attack. Woo! That's funny. Hargis was talking about the slow. Austin was responding to Hargis about the slow. Dustin was talking about hornets. So a lot of cross. So wisdom save. Okay, so instead of 15, she takes 7 points of radiant damage. Your shield burst is a... That was a DM fishing right there. A little DM fishing. Yeah. On the glowing-eyed weird lion. Yeah, they like doing their... Have that attack. Woohoo! Good job, Hargis. So, sorry, Dustin, you had it. No, if it leaves and goes back in, I'm trying to think. If it leaves the radius and then jumps back in? Yeah, yeah. First time on their turn. I feel like you should be punished twice. If you're running into and out of a cloud of hornets, you should be punished twice. Yeah, I mean that sounds like a you problem. You can't blame the hornets. Yeah. Yeah. Might be just. Oh, that was my next thing. Oh. I promise you, Dustin. I promise you, my next attack was going to address that very situation. I wish I'd said it beforehand. Oh man, he is a Duergar. The Stoneborn are in league with the Duergar. The Stoneborn are in league with the Duergar. It's been pretty darn effective. Wow. Fluffy. Okay. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. I'm going to pull out 2 spider venom touched arrows. I've got advantage on my first attack here against Ben. So that's coming at him now. 22 to hit against Benroy. No effect? Huh? It's just an arrow as far as I know. But so the arrow fires at it and it kind of goes boonk and like doesn't hit. And the other arrow was going towards the dwarf, which I also have advantage against him. Two 17s, so it's a 25 either way. So it hits the dwarf. 14 points of necrotic damage, tagged with 25. 2 17s on the die. I rolled with advantage and both were 7. But so yeah, total 25 to hit and then 14 points of necrotic. No. Sorry, it was 25 to hit and then 14 points of necrotic damage. And the dwarf cannot heal himself in case he is interested. Yeah, although he might not know that. He just knows he got hit with an arrow. But if he does try and heal himself, I'd prefer if he didn't know that he couldn't heal himself and tried to heal himself, if that's all right. Ben, wouldn't have worked. Even his own magic wouldn't work on him. That's interesting. Jasper looks over his shoulder. He's like, sorry, I pity me too. I still have my bonus action. I'm gonna throw my my gizmo ball at the dwarf. Yep. I'm gonna bust that out. Chuck it over at Dwarfy. Yep. And we'll see how that. I don't fit. Only a 13 to hit. Wisdom saves. So another wisdom save. So I have a 15. Makes sense. Yeah. He's not become less fearful. Jasper got a 15. We know what you're saying, Doug. We all know. All the Stoneborn are half Duergar. I don't know if I failed. I got a 15. You poop yourself if you fail it twice. All right. Yeah. My hornets. They're like, what's going on? My horny boys. Oh my gosh. Don't feel bad for him. He hit Jasper. He hit Jasper with a fireball's worth of poison damage. He deserves it. He deserves every bad roll. Oh my gosh. You're using that digital dice roller. Yeah, digital dice rollers, man, I don't trust them. I always do. Maybe. It does happen. You're a bad cat. She gets some hornet damage. Ooh, did she get hornet damage first, or is that her? Hits her legendary. Okay. 5. Oh no. Yeah. Oh. So, okay. Well, in that case, no. If we're going that dirty pool, if we're going that dirty, I'm since I failed that saving throw, I'm gonna try and use my add these 2d4 to a failed saving throw. So 5 plus 7. Was it really? I thought it was 10. Okay, so I'm so stunned, and they start to flicker, and at that moment, there's just like the echo of the Tree Father's voice in my head. That's just like, "Stay strong, child," and it's just, and just like, yeah, yeah, it's all evens out in the wash. That's fun. Ben's looking worse. Flint. Whew. It's a big hit. Oh yeah, no magic on the plus. Nice. It's that typical thing. Yeah. Benroy's been sitting on his keister while Kimba brings him. All right. Ooh, that's a bad one. So instead of no, it does take the full 21 points. That was close to max. Woof. The slow, man. It was the slow. That was. I mean, that doesn't help. Oh boy. Wow. If you're cursed, you're cursed, I guess. Got to burn some incense. Don't apologize. We're feeling pretty good about it. We probably, I mean, depending on the number of badgers, I think so. Move along. Oh boy. Yeah, right. Oh, not yet. He's trying to save his kitty. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. It's okay. We're doing all right. I think I'll drop. That's nice. Right. All right. Well, Jasper is gonna try and keep him from healing himself in case he wants to. So he's gonna shoot him with another venom arrow. We'll see how that goes. Oh crap. Yeah, the dwarf. That's gonna miss. That's only a 12. So it'll just be my gizmo ball. Hit. Of course that hits. 4 to hit. So a little 10 point. Yeah, you can't outrun it. I thought about that when he ran. Yep. It just boing, dunk, and just bops him in the back of the head. Dink. Dustin, I apologize if you covered this. Did the dwarf come into my wasp range? Okay, he hasn't got there yet? Okay. Right. So he hasn't got in there just yet. Poor guy. Ooh, that's rough. Okay. Because he's a Duergar traitor. Austin and Dustin are resolving. So Lion's going to take a slash at you, Scott. Lion will take a swipe at you and the thing in a sec, Scott. It missed you. Wisdom saving. Ooh, she swipes ya. 4? 11. Yeah. So you roll the 10. Gotcha. No, it's a wisdom save. Yeah. Yep. Wisdom save. Yeah. We'll see. We're trying to save lives here. So he isn't some elevator music. I was gonna say, don't identify with him too much. This could be here we stand at the turning of the fair. Well, his lion's on the ground. His other lion, not quite. He's an angry boy. Oh, it's that bad. Narratively, Phil, a triumph. Oh boy, it was a pretty good. It was good. We had a good time. It's only lost some chunks. Most of it's still there. It's missing that lip, missing some pieces of ear, and Kitty's looking rough. But yeah. Oh, that's what. So, I was gonna say, does she keep attacking? Because if my is vengeance an option? Lion fight. Well, that was yeah, sure. Uh, a spell attack. Right. Yeah. Man. Oh, nice little power combo. Oh, jeez. You know what this guy's problem was, though? He had the whip, but he forgot to bring out the stool, because that's his defensive thing. So he needed the defensive stool that he proffers, and then the whip. Was it a stool? Yeah, it was a stool. Ah, that's what I was hoping. I approve of this message. Well, but the stool wouldn't have, unless it was a magical stool. Magical stool, I mean, we've all got, stories about magical stool, but unless it was magical stool, it wouldn't have helped with his saves, probably. No, it's hey, Jasper needed a couple ego boosts, so of course now he's just very confused as he slowly opens the jar for his hornets to go back into it. Yeah, I'm sure he carries off Ben. That word, that term in Dwarvish. It's non-alcoholic. It doesn't matter. Someone really doesn't like you or your family, Brad. I'd like some blanks filled. I figure we tell him. Yeah, no, we tell him. Quick, the short version. I mean, I would be surprised to see him wandering around town. No. What? No. We haven't seen Dacron. Maybe. What? Dacron? Yeah, we told him. That explains. Probably still just in Brand's body. Yeah, I mean, we should find out what's going on. So, I mean, contacting your fiancée to find out if she's okay is probably priority number one. Well, I mean, you've been in prison. Right. Do we know that they're gone? I mean, have you been able to send messages? So, I guess one other thing. I just want to be clear. So I was correct when I said that you were in love with Ivan's fiancé. Because you... Right. I just want to put that out there. That I nailed it right on. Apparently even more so than I realized, because Flint and I need to have a long discussion about that later. But I'm not sure that that's what's going on. You'll warm up to him, I think, Bran. Hargis, even Hargis likes him now. And what do you do with that information? Yep, cricket free. But no, I think it's probably more important to figure out so what's going to happen here? We should find out if your fiance's all right. Is she missing? Is she gone? Is she been abducted? Is your body actually conscious? So the king, that's why he doesn't like Bran very much. That makes sense. Or you. No, different topic. Gotta say, I love your mother. Your mother is fantastic. She's a lovely woman. Had a wonderful time. But I think we should focus on what the next step is here, because I mean that's the big concerns. Yeah. How are you feeling after your imprisonment? Did you have did they put you in a cell with the bunkmate solo or? Oh, some of the guards. That's better. Better some of the guards than some of the prisoners. That's preferable. Are they? I feel so. We still don't. Right, little column A. It is not the craziest thing we've or heard. So your fiancé hasn't known this entire time. This is why you need secret codes. We should all make up secret code words so that we can... I'll start on a list. Code words. No, I got a couple, actually. Yeah, we can go over that later. Yeah. No, there's a few in there. That's oh geez, man, that's a good one. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, it checks out. Oh boy, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. There's a lot of layers there. A lot of layers. Finkel and I. Yeah. Boy, Dustin, you say it's an end, but it's really just it's just one more beginning, isn't it? Got all sorts to. It's gonna be. Oh, you cut out all the what? Yeah, we've got literally. We've got a lot. Well, we've got a tattered carpet now, so got to get the loom going. I mean, most of my questions are the story questions, where we're going next. But those are all the things that like you can't answer. So yeah. So I guess that's going to be the big one is the discussion we have next on. Yeah. I don't remember that was fun. No, you had a body swap. You didn't have a body. You had a good old fashioned brain exchange. That's totally different. Yeah, totally. Tie it back in. Yeah. And now we know the secret of Stoneborn, that they're Duergar traders. Yeah, half Duergar. Yep. Well, man, what do you think, Scott? What's we're gonna do 2 months. Sounds good to me. What was that, Scott? In this system, sure. Oh, in-game perception check. Oh my. My first good perception. That's Brand's decision. Brand pulled us in. Okay. 18. 18. I know, for once. Sure. Oh. Yeah. Or just poorer, dirtier, and... Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Nothing quite so obvious that we have to go... Yeah. And Jasper rolled high on a percent. Yeah. Hold on a minute. Not a full boss fight, but he was definitely a mini boss. My first mind controlled, worm brain controlled captain of the guard on our first session, I believe, second session. Yeah. He was essentially one shot. Didn't even get to attack you guys once. So, yep. It's on par. They're on par. Yeah. Poor Ben. Yep. No, that was absolutely. It doesn't matter though. It all equals out. So much movement. Right? Boy. No, in a way we did, because it's kind of like a 50-50 deal. It's we either crushed them with the slow or would have been hurt real bad and maybe crushed the opposite way. It could have just flip of the coin. Yep. Right. That was the biggest one. 10 foot. Oh. Guys, we forgot to loot the dwarf after we beat him. We could have had a cool whip. Well, we could have arranged for that. Yeah. No. That would have been fun, but no, we were trying to be gentlemen. We were trying to be classy. We were trying to be the bigger gnome. That's pretty good rep. Yeah, I think that's pretty good rep. Hey, that's fine when you're playing a DM, Dustin. Yeah, that's pretty epic. Yeah, but now that you're a player again, go back to normal dice. No more digital dice. I hate digital because they can't actually do random numbers. It's not actually random. They can write an algorithm that attempts. What's that? Sorry, I was going to say that the one time I did use it, I noticed a prevalence of 1s and 20s that seemed... So after using it that time, I was like, this is just like 1s and 20s, and so I didn't want any more. Not that I roll significantly better as Jasper, but there's like a good range at least. Nice. That'd be fun. What are you going to say, Scott? Right. I was going to say, they got some big ones. Well, do we want to save all of this for the next session, or do we want to float some ideas of where everyone will be going? Because we're in Yord's Garden. Are we all going to travel back to Hardale together? I think this wasn't really right. Yeah, so we could stay. Yeah, we could hang here. Treasure. Yeah, yeah. Can we just say that we've sold off the rest of the knickknacks for the 750 gold? So that'll be the three of us again. So 250 gold each. So Scott, yourself another 250. That's kind of what I was thinking. Is that the fiance, Edley? Did you say her name was Elinor? How you spelling? What gnome? Oh, no, that's Brisa. Yeah. No, it's just funny. Elinor. If I have a daughter, I was gonna name my daughter Elinor, after 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 Samwise Gamgee's first daughter. Yeah. Yeah. When I was like 13. Yeah, when I was like 13, I read Lord of the Rings, and when I got to the end of it, they talked about Samwise's daughter, Elinor Sunstar, and I was like, oh, that's a name for a girl. If I ever have a girl, I'm gonna name her. So it's been like my name for a girl since I was like 13. My wife likes it, so if we have a girl, it's gonna be, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So do you have what you're gonna do on your downtime, Bran? I suppose you want to try and track down your fiance. I'll call you Bran. He identified himself as Branny, so we'll go with that for now until he requests otherwise. I mean, are you going to try and track down your fiance and your body? No, I know everything I want to do. Oh, yeah. Right. Well, yeah. Well, he's got a missing body now. If that... Right. Sure. So, yeah. I mean, but he's got to find her first, right? Yeah, yeah. Right. Which, I mean, so that's his downtime, right? Is looking for her, right? Jasper's got things he needs to do too. Number one, he's going to find out if Hargis wants to come with to pay his respects to Dacrin's family. He's got to go tell his daughter and mom. I mean, yeah, I mean, we'd love to, but you have no idea what that forest is like. That thing steamrolled us like we were children. It kicked us around like we were little frogs on a lake, and we went skittering 1,000 feet. Did we run into the... I assume you meant horrible spider monstrosity. Yes, that's the one. It's just... I mean, we didn't have a chance. Man, we're not... and last time you were in there, your body swapped out. I mean, we just can't go back in for... I mean, do you think you're capable of that right now? Actually capable of that? Well... Exactly. I'm just saying that might be like, I think we need more, either more, I was going to say train up might be the one, because as I said, we just got our butts handed to us. The forest was, no, the forest is above our pay grade. We need to train up and get a lot more items and get something that we can be incredibly sneaky with. Maybe that's the thing. I felt like Nov kind of rushed us through. I don't know what she was after, and they really kind of rushed us through. What's that? Yes, Nov was with us. She was in there looking for something and just kind of blowing past everything else. I felt like... So anyway, if Dacrin is still alive, but last we heard he wanted to go to the center of the forest, and according to Shidhala, there's a city at the center of the forest where as soon as you go into the city, you just start to die. And she's a dragon, and she's having difficulty going to the center of the city that killed the powerful silver dragon. She was dying, she said. She was sucking... It was sucking her life out of her, and she had to flee. Okay, so we've got silver dragon runs away, and last time you were there, you lost your mind and went unconscious. This is not a recipe for success in our current state, at the very least. Now you have to go there without what? Yeah, you're super quiet again. Yeah, do the unplug again, see if you come back. Just unplug and plug back in, see if that helps. Oh, it's your cord. Yeah. Yeah, it's your cord, you're back now. Yeah, it must be the connection in there. I've got that going with my headphones right now. Yep. Yeah, you're better now. You're better now. Alright. So that sounds made up. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that. How would that make any sense? Why would the poison make you better? That's nonsense, Bran. You're talking... That's what they say? Yeah. Obtain the... All right, well... So Do you plan on doing this in our downtime, Bran? Do you want to go into the forest for your downtime? Is that what your plan is? It's a big meatball. Anyway, I intend to go. Yeah, Ivan's. Yeah. Well, we can't control that, but I'm gonna go and tell. I'm gonna go tell. Yeah, the short beard. I have to go tell Dacron's family that he's not going to be coming home for a very long time, if ever. And I'm somewhat inclined to tell him that he is gone, and mother and a stepdaughter. He was a stepdaughter. He married the woman. She had a daughter. We could, but I'm good. Family is incredibly. Maybe we can take. Jasper will try and get the money for a funeral and just give it to them as a lump sum. But that's what I was going to talk to you about as well, Hargis. I intend to give them some of my share for this adventure. I don't think it's fair to ask it of. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to ask it of Flint. Oh, he did? Oh, well. All right. Well, what's that then? So we can. What's his share? You check it later. 450. That's a lot. Well, anyway, we'll count it. So the other thing that Jasper needs to do, eventually we'll try, but as I said, right now we are powerless to do it. Well, yes, you're accurate. You're very accurate. The other thing, he's going to have a big, long conversation with Flint before he does that, because Flint had some insight that he now saw some practical application, during that combat. Some time to spend there to work out some of those. And so I'd say that'll be the first thing. Discussing the nature of magic and how it applies to Jasper. Well, yeah. So that was kind of a slow burn. Yeah, that was kind of a slow burn that I'm not sure if Scott was able to hear the nuance of beforehand or pick up until now. But did you perceive what was going on through all that crosstalk and stuff? You're the last DM, so you're the last one to find out that Jasper, all of his inventions and everything are just the material components to magical spells. Yeah. Right. Well, I thought about doing that, just like an actual reskin where Jasper was in fact inventing these, but then I thought it would be more fun if he only thought he had invented things, but what he really did was be a sorcerer and not know it. So, oh, good. Thought it was, yep, yeah. So you're close. You're close. He wasn't a wild. Very close. Uh-oh. Oh yeah. Oh man. Our dream artifacts, Scott, have the dream. Will that be something that gets revealed during my training session with Flint? Well, this is your other sword. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you might have a girlfriend. Hey, fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, yeah, so maybe the girl. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe they'll... Yeah. That's a good one. So... You're gonna come with me to visit Dacron's family, right, Hargis? Okay. Yeah. Matching set. So that'll be nice. That's funny. Damage and healing. Yeah, part of Jasper's downtime might be investigating how to destroy magical artifacts. That's true. That's